Happy Martin Luther King Day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. How are you spending today celebrating?
One of the things I do this every year on MLK Day. I listen to the Beyond Vietnam speech.
Oh,
Yeah,
man, it's a big one.
Yeah.
Maybe the last great public speaker we had in this country.
Yeah.
Well, Trump, and then Martin Luther King.
Yeah, he's
They
pretty
both.
good.
You always wonder what Trump speech will be remembered. But on a day like Martin Luther King Day, we should all come together. Little black kids should play with little white kids.
Yes.
And today is a holiday for us here at SiriusXM, and also for Juju School.
Yes.
We thought we would play some of our favorite bits here today. A lot of this has to do with our own Earl Douglas, the man who will spend today listening.
Mm-hmm.
Listening.
Yes.
We're going to do something, and I think this is the perfect Martin Luther King. It's the Unmasked that we did with Reggie Watts. And it wasn't, this is, of course, before Reggie got the gig on the, I'm going to guess, Late Show is the name of
Yes.
it. Later Show, where he's the musical director. But he was this kind of alt comedy star at the time.
Very funny.
And we were sitting there and we were having a great time. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. Jesse Jackson came up to the big glass window and started to do the bird at us, right? Like he was Mars Day and the Time. Now, you have to be my age to understand this, I believe. I don't know if people know Jesse Jackson was the guy holding on to Martin Luther King when Martin Luther King died. He was literally died in Jesse's arms. It was, Martin Luther King's then he ran as an independent one year and got a huge percentage of the votes, more votes than most independents could ever pull off.
Wow,
Running for president of the United States under the Rainbow Coalition, the Rainbow. Again, another great public speaker. And I always thought that Jesse Jackson owed as much to Muhammad Ali's style of speaking as he did to Martin Luther King's style of speak. There was a little more street, I thought, to Jesse Jackson. Right. He could be very funny. And obviously a lot of people didn't like him. But when he did that thing about stay out the bushes, hilarious when talking about the Bush family. So you see this thing, really funny guy. We literally have this shot on video, but because he didn't sign off, we've never been able to use it.
God, that is so crazy. It's so weird that happened.
Sirius said, no, you can't put that out. Because it was such a joyful thing. I think when you listen to this, you'll hear that Reggie and I just lost it. I mean, it was too weird of a thing happen. It would be weird enough to just look up and it's the only time in my life I've ever seen Jesse Jackson. That would have been odd enough to just see, like, Jesse Jackson is one of those people that you don't think, oh, he's actually real. But the fact that he was just trying to not only make us laugh, but disrupt our interview. It's so out of character for him.
It's not something I would have imagined he would do.
And we died, man. We just fell out. And then, Reggie took, at that time, something that we were all amazed by, which was the iPhone. The iPhone had pretty much just, was still an expensive thing to have. And he was using it to make music in a way I haven't seen people do since. All these things that are on your phone, you don't use them. You could be sitting there
Right.
basically having a professional production studio. You don't do it. And then the first break is about our own Earl Douglas. That was his DNA results where you found out the first time in your life where your people are from.
Right.
Yeah, that was...
Wakanda, right?
Yeah. Apparently they know quite a bit about technology there too, but why won't they share it? Seems mean.
It was very moving. I didn't expect to be.
I was
moved.
expecting you were moved, and then that put me in a whole different place.
Yeah, I was not prepared to be that moved, and then finding out
that you were Scottish.
Yeah, among other things, and
among other things. Yeah.
Yeah, but to think that you're one thing, and then to find out you're the other.
Well, what did you think you were?
I honestly thought I had Native American
Oh, yeah, but
And-
you thought a very tiny bit. Most black people think they have a little bit of Native American in them. But out of everything, what I loved is that you're from the Ivory Coast. That's always my whole life. I've
Cool
loved
name.
that name, Ivory Coast. Like, what is it? Laying on the beach? The animals going right up to the beach? And where else are your people from? In Congo?
Cameroon.
Cameroon,
Is it
another one I
Cameroon?
love. Great soccer there.
It's like Cameroon. I think they're part Scottish. I think a little British.
Yeah, well, that's slave owner stuff. It's nothing to
shouldn't
be
talk
happy.
about it.
Yeah, it's nothing to be happy about. That's rape DNA.
Hey.
We all have rape
I
DNA, bro.
know, just-
You can't get around it. I watched that show on PBS, Finding Your Roots, and the amount of times that we find out who had slaves and then who were slave owners, it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a dark history, our country.
This world doesn't have the best history.
No, we're not good to each other.
And then we got another break that we're doing that is a real salute to Martin Luther King. Everyone tries to do the Seinfeld theme.
Yes, and I think he would have loved that. All of us coming together.
Definitely.
Let's try Earl's.
Boom, ba-dum, boom, 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 da-dum, ba-dum, dum, bum, dum.
Really
Pretty
one of the worst themes, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Yeah, it's
really
awful.
silly.
Stinks.
That one's pretty good.
Here's Vito's.
Bow, ba-dum, bow, 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 bow. Bow, 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 bow.
The ending of that one doesn't make any sense.
He had it a little mixed up with,
Yeah. That's your favorite show.
Is that the
Love
one you
it.
grew up watching?
Oh,
Your
loved Home
Seinfeld.
Improvement. Arr.
I preferred the neighbor who just kept his...
Wilson?
Yeah, Wilson.
Creepy voyeur Wilson. Just
I never
watching
thought of him that
He
way,
was
but
watching
yeah.
them fuck all the time.
What?
No, come on.
What?
That's so blunt,
I'm
man.
sorry.
One, and it's Martin Luther King Day.
It's MLK Day.
We're
Sorry.
not having that kind of
Early
show.
morning, April 4, shot rings out in the Memphis sky. Earl, does it bother you that the best Martin Luther King song ever was done by an Irish band?
Yeah. I mean, I to think that none of the brothers couldn't come up with, or sisters couldn't come up with a proper.
You had to catch yourself.
Yeah, yes, I did.
Found out.
Thank you for including
Yeah.
the ladies.
Yeah, like the only thing that's close is that one of the worst Stevie songs ever is "Happy Birthday."
And yet, it's not. He's done way worse. I always like to tease him about Stevie Wonder.
Yeah.
All right, let's just jump into this. Happy Martin Luther King, everybody. This is Earl's DNA results. One of a kind of a weird moment when we thought it was going to be a big funny thing. And then Earl was really touched by it all
So
and amazed and couldn't wait to get back to
found
his
himself.
family. Yeah. Bennington. Your DNA stuff. Should I just say the surprising thing right up front?
Yes.
It looks like Earl is connected to a murder that took place
Oh
in
no!
1991.
This is not good.
Yeah.
You should not have agreed to do this.
It was a purse snatching gone wrong.
That was Tupac or Biggie, but hey.
Oh, racist. Well, Earl, you know nothing about your roots, right?
Little to nothing, yes.
Yeah. And you always said if you went to Africa, you would like to go to where?
I always wanted to check out South Africa,
South Africa.
Mali.
South Africa is the only part of Africa that was really done up big time by white people. All right. Now we have your ethnic background here, 100% of it. Are you ready, Earl?
I've been psyched ever since I took the test.
Vito, play the opening and the music.
Don't have any.
Look under that tiny pizza. I think it's funny that Chris left it, that we don't have it. As long as you've been doing radio, what would we like to do when we're...
Production.
Mm-hmm. Earl, let me just apologize to you. This is your day. The day that you finally find out who you are. The day that you can yell out, Kunta Kinte, I have found you.
Be James Earl Jones for a day.
Yeah.
She is so excited. She
Yeah.
can't stand it.
She's
The
amped up.
anticipation.
She's just a baby, though. You know, she just. This
When
is
you
her
think
first.
about it, she's kind of just a baby.
I mean,
It's easy to forget.
if anyone is connected to their original DNA, it's her. Not that long ago, she was both sperm and egg together. Okay, forever and ever. She's a good baby, though. She's a good baby, and Earl, I would love for this thing to say that you were the father of a bunch of children. Earl,
Yes.
despite not having production, a song, or anything to build this up, this is very, very exciting. And there is 34% of you are from a certain place in Africa.
Wow. 34.
Yes, 34%.
That's pretty.
That's pretty big.
That's a pretty big chunk.
Yeah. And your people are from the Benin / Togo or Togo area of Africa. Are you?
I'm familiar with Benin.
Yeah. When you began the beginning. So let's see this.
There it is.
Wow.
Now, Earl, here's something that I think is really, really shocking. And I don't know what that area, let me see it again. Well, I wonder what that was known as before, because these are probably new.
I've been colonized and recolonized.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah.
But again, it is on the coast. I told you, I believe that a big part of you was going to be West Coast
Yeah.
Africa, because that's where they snatched from.
That's where they got him.
Yeah.
The W.
Now, here's the deal on this, and I found this fascinating. This is where the famous all-female warriors came from, the one that the Amazon myth was described on, and also it shows up in that Black Panther movie. But I thought of that immediately because of your sisters. You always said that your sisters were really strong, tough women.
Yeah. Then, very athletic.
Yeah.
My oldest sister was a star athlete in high school.
You're pretty much mostly from Wakanda. Straight up.
You really are kind of a Wakanda. So that's really, really interesting right off the bat.
My mind is so blown right now. I can't even put in the words how blown my mind is.
Your people at one point were great female warriors. Your sisters are great female athletes, and also have been hard on you and your brother. But I find that strong female thing to be really, really, and that's the first thing I thought of, is the way you've described your sisters before. The next part, Earl, is 25%.
Ooh, also sizable.
Now,
It's big chunks. Not even like
these
little
are big
itty
chunks.
bitties.
And the reason why we even did this is because you believe you had Native American blood. 25%. Yes, baby. 25%
She's into it.
of your ethnic background is Cameroon, Congo, and Southern Bantu peoples.
Cameroon.
Cameroon
Yes.
is my favorite of the World Cup soccer teams. They're really,
Yes.
really exploding on the scene right now.
Oh, that's exciting.
Now, let's see exactly where that is.
So there's Cameroon,
Yeah.
a little bit,
Just
south.
south of. Now, it's only Nigeria or in between the Benin and things. There's Cameroon and the Congo, which very, very exciting. So, Earl, we've already made up
So that's over half.
59% of your background. So far, is this something that's exciting to you?
Very,
Really?
very, very, very exciting.
I'm really excited about the Cameroon.
Again, Cameroon is Benin. I think it's Benin.
Yeah, I
'Cause
don't.
I have friends who've gone there.
And what do they think of it? Just put up some pictures. Just put
Yeah.
up that and put up images.
Of the native land, the motherland.
Earl, you don't have to write it down. I'm going to give you all the information.
Oh my God,
Like
that's
a
so
reporter.
cute. Oh, that was so cute. He's like, I'm going to jot this one
Yeah,
down.
let's see the area.
Beautiful.
Holy shit.
Is that you, Earl?
Earl, your people are very colorful. That can't be the way they look now, though. Take a picture of this. This is the town. And they liked it, Earl, when they went?
Yeah, loved it. And I think that's, I think I'm saying, I think Benin is one of the birthplaces of what we now consider the American blues, too.
You are kidding me.
Yeah, that's basically where it traces back to. I've been told that.
What is it, like the beat from there? The rhythm?
I think stringed instruments.
I didn't know that they had stringed instruments in Africa back then.
I think that's where a couple of guys that I know went back there for to kind of trace it all back, like
Wow.
musical roots. But
So that's extra exciting to you for that.
I'm speechless right now.
Yeah.
I'm like legit.
Do you feel like for the first time in your life, you know who you are?
Yeah, no. At least I know where I come from, where
Right.
it starts. But this is like, whoa! I don't know how accurate this test was.
Oh, it's accurate because the next one is another 15%.
Still another good chunk.
Earl, you were looking for the reason why this started was Native American. By the way, that sound that you hear, that's your ancestors calling to you.
Channeling through a baby?
That's
Yes,
your
that's
native
how they do
tongue.
it.
Yeah.
They channel through little white babies. I didn't think Earl was going to react like this, did you?
No.
You can see that you're
It's
visibly moved.
I'm gonna be honest. I was like all excited, and now I'm just getting really teary eyed.
Well, I see that Earl. I've never seen him wet-eyed before. He's not a sentimental guy, but I can see that this matters. We're going to find out. You've got another 15% chunk coming in here. Will this be Native American? It is the Ivory Coast and Ghana.
Ghana.
Oh,
15% the Ivory Coast and Ghana. So let's take a look at them.
to the left there. Yep, right there.
Also right in the same
Kind of
right
all
next
in
to
a-
Togo and Bennington.
yeah.
Yeah.
So your people, well, they seem like they're beach people, Earl. I don't like. They're always on the coast.
Do you
got-
enjoy it? Do you enjoy the water?
we got that great tan.
Now, what is this Ivory Coast? What is that? That
Yes,
That's
right
Ivory
here.
Coast,
Yep.
what do they call it there?
Like Côte d'Ivory.
Yeah.
Now,
I think
the
it's like
Ivory
most
Coast. Do you
French
think that really has to do with ivory, like getting ivory?
I would assume so.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the trade was very big then.
Mm. Earl, that's a major part of your background right now.
So that's like almost 70%.
Almost
Or
70.
over 70.
Yeah, almost 70%.
70, almost 74. That's 3/4. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
3/4 of you
Almost. 3/4.
comes from this coast of Africa. And remember, I told you I had a feeling it was going to be very coastal because I don't think
Yeah.
they went in deep.
No, they didn't.
The
They stuck with the West Coast. Midwest
Well, West Coast slaves are hip. Earl, we got another 11% here. That will take you to 90% of your background. You can hear your ancestors calling from above.
They sound hungry.
Would you like another sliver of pizza?
Oh,
Did you guys finish up the other ones?
No, they're still in here.
Why?
They're just there's more for everybody.
What do you mean more for everybody?
Like there's still more. If you guys want some more pizza, we have more pizza.
This 11% will take you 90% of your background. Earl is writing this down like I'm
no, I'm just,
You'll withhold this from him.
no, I'm
the
just,
way that he used to write down the numbers for people back in the neighborhood growing up. Earl, 11%. You were looking for the Native American in you.
yes. If it, again, according to my father.
You mentioned this country a little while ago as we were going through.
Is it Mali?
It's Mali, 11%.
Wow.
Now let's see exactly where that is, Chris. That's your most northern
Yeah.
that
An
you
inland.
have now. Yes. And the only landlocked nation that you were part of. Next to Niger. And by the way, the African map has changed so much, I don't even know. You know what I mean? I don't even know where a lot of these countries are off the map. I'm going to force myself to know that. I know, honey. We're all surprised. We're all surprised. But you would think that a landlocked country would have a tough time
Right.
making it in Africa.
I wonder if you're talking like those people migrated, like that's comes from beforehand.
Interesting.
Because
Like
I
they might
doubt.
have migrated down.
Yes, exactly. Because I would doubt that maybe, but I don't think they went in that far.
But also remember with this, it only takes one kind of strong person somewhere back in like the great grandmother. You know what I mean? Like a great grandmother or a great grandfather would be, completely change that DNA over time. And I think the baby agrees with me right now.
Yeah.
So Earl, that is 90% of your background. And why don't you read to me what I've given you so far, Earl?
So you said 34% was from Benin,
Yeah,
25% from Cameroon,
right.
15% from Ghana, 11% from Mali.
Yeah. And of course, they've added, some other stuff in there.
So that's
If I-
85%.
It's 85. I thought that was 90% that we're at.
Well, I got my math wrong.
Yeah, I think that's 90%. So that leaves us 10%. And I'm going to give this away 90%. After this, Earl, we leave the continent of Africa.
We leave it all together.
Oh
Wow.
my God.
You are 90% African descent. The fact that you're 10% other is pretty surprising to me.
Yeah.
You're like Scottish or something?
Or what were you looking for?
I said Scottish.
No, but what were you looking for originally? Why did we do this?
Native American.
Earl, you are 4% Irish and Scottish.
Irish and Scottish. I said Scottish.
4%.
So that's probably Douglas came from somewhere.
Earl, can I tell you something? We're related. You and I can trace our DNA.
And still love for the firewater.
Yes.
Oh, we love it. Oh, the Douglases love to drink. Oh,
Oh, I
Lord
know
have
you do.
mercy.
Are you surprised by that, though?
Irish, yes. Scottish, somewhat. Well, oop. See that?
You're good.
That does not sound good.
It's
It's got me
fine.
so nervous.
Believe me, the first time she did it, I was horrified. It's fine, I promise.
Did that vape go right in her face?
She just ate too fast.
Yeah. I eat too
Irish,
fast.
Scott. Oh, wow.
I normally eat too fast. I couldn't today with the tiny minuscule
Too
pizzas.
little.
So
I guess it's
4%
portion control.
Irish, Scottish.
4% Irish and Scottish.
You know what's crazy? Like every time I met someone from Scotland at the Hard Rock, I would always felt a connection to Scotland for some reason.
Well, like you said, you do have the Douglas name. Are you ready for this, Earl?
Yeah.
Another 3% English, Welsh, and Northwestern Europe.
English, well,
Yeah, English and Welsh. And you always have to know that, the English are Anglo-Saxons. So there's always German blood there as well, which you probably are. Or like a Denmark, like a Viking thing. Because between those Germanic tribes,
they always intersected.
they always, conquered. These are conquering people. So that takes us to 97%.
So that's pretty much where. Is this an assumption that the Irish, Scottish, the English, that was basically probably from slave trade?
Oh, yeah. That's all.
Unless Gail's pretty sure that it's rape, but who knows? Maybe somebody in your family dated some,
Settler or visitor or something?
Yeah,
It's
maybe
gotta
there
happen.
was a young 1890s Eminem type. You know what I mean? That just love the culture. But the chances are, because of the name Douglas, yeah, it could be a slave owner. I would love to find that out. And, maybe, we could try seeing if there's some kind of historian that could do this. But, I mean, if somebody would have said to me, your friend Earl, how much English, Irish, and Scottish does he have? I'd say, look at him. 0.
7%. 7%.
The fact that Kathleen from the Bronx is more Irish than your African shocks me.
Yeah, because what was her?
She was 98% pure Irish.
Right, straight down the line.
Yeah, and I mean, you got a full continent to play around with there. And she's got that one little island off the coast of England, and her people never got off.
98.
That's embarrassing. That means there's a lot of interbreeding. I remember one time she said to me, I want you to meet my mother and my sister. And there was only one person.
It's the ending of Chinatown.
Yeah, Chinatown. I said, relax, Kathleen. It's Chinatown. We got 3% more. Good Earl B, 3% Native American. And what tribe? What tribe? If you had to guess, is Native American?
Iroquois.
Chippewa.
Seminole.
That'd be something if it was Seminole. Same people who own the Hard Rock Stadium. When did they name that stadium that? I just saw it this weekend. They were saying it constantly.
Naming rights.
Yeah, but when did that happen?
That happened, I think, last year, I believe.
This is how few Dolphin games I watch. Here we go, Earl. 3%. We'll find out exactly what kind of Native American that you are, Earl. 97% of you have already been figured out. There's only 3% more. Earl, you are 3% French. You are 0% Native American.
Hence my disgust for the French.
Yeah. Self-loathing is what it is.
That's exactly what it is.
You are 10% Irish, Scottish, English, Welsh, and French. Bizarre. Bizarre. Now, they also gave maps of, the crossover and all. I don't know why they put the one here, Chris. Do you know what this map means, the American part of it?
I couldn't tell because there wasn't any of his DNA from there.
Right. But it looks like a map from New York down to,
Like South Carolina?
yeah, about maybe even Georgia, to say that maybe that's where you came in. Everything about you is wrapped around the Atlantic Ocean, which I find to be, wherever your people were, they were hugging the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah, New York was a big port, too. It was a slave port.
Yeah, but since the slaves generally didn't stop here,
Yeah,
you know what I
they
mean?
worked their way down.
Yeah, they were kind of shipped after that. I find it fucking fascinating, though.
3% French. Explains everything.
I never.
So much whiter than I thought.
Yeah, if somebody would have said, do you think Earl is 10% white? I go, no, I'm not really. What are you most excited about in your background, Earl?
Like the Mali, Benin, and Cameroon. That part of it just blows my mind.
Yeah. That is definitely here. Go back to this part. This is basically your people. This thing here is where your people came out of. What's also interesting is when you consider that people, come from Africa, Your family apparently didn't travel much after that. You know what I mean? Over the next millions of years, they're like, no, we like it here.
We had enough.
So they're showing there the ports too, where they came in.
Maybe. I don't know. I can't read it exactly.
Crazy.
Maybe we can put this up. But I think this whole fucking thing fascinating.
Yeah, well, that big swath right there makes a lot of sense. Carolina.
So they're saying that's where the Douglases have lived.
Yeah, and then I believe beginning in 1850.
Okay, let's take a look at that. So 1850 to 1875. Oh wait, did you? Yeah. So you're basically, Earl, pretty southern. Now go up to New York. Now there's nothing there.
Nothing.
All his stuff is southern.
Yeah,
Okay.
that I knew for
All
a
right,
while.
so around 19. All right, so I'm figuring this website out. So I hit click 1900, and then it has the Douglases coming from the south towards New York.
Well, that's what happened. Now put ethnicity. Click that though.
That just goes from the
whole thing.
big picture.
All right, so then 1850. Are you telling me that that's when they think they got here, or before, or that's just where they were at that point? Go to 1875 now, and your family had pretty much stayed in the South. The furthest making it into Virginia, 1900. Some of you going into New York, 25. Now, let's see the link to tree. I didn't see this before. So, they're telling you to make your own family
Yeah, you
tree?
have to input the information.
Yeah, I don't want to do that. I want somebody to do it for us.
Yeah.
I think that would be fascinating if we could get somebody to work with this now.
It also looks like some Douglases went to Ohio and Illinois around 1925.
If you look at the part of Indiana that they're in, right?
Yeah.
That would have been the same place that the Jackson 5 is from.
I
Earl,
got people in Gary.
this is exciting.
Yes. You got people from Gary, Indiana. Now, Earl, have you ever met someone that you found out that you were related to? Have you ever met another Douglas that you were able to say, oh, we are related? Like, you didn't meet him at a family thing or anything?
No, not anyone that was like, we like second or third cousins or something like that. I don't know.
In my life, I have never met another Bennington other than my brother and sisters. I've never met a Bennington cousin. I've never met anybody that they said, oh, your uncle was my grandfather. Never in my life. So, Earl, in many ways, I'm like you, a slave, brought to this country that made it to Gary, Indiana, and became the sound man for what I consider the greatest boy band of all time, the Jackson 5. Are you thrilled that you know this information, or is this information that you reject?
Absolutely ecstatic.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is blowing my mind.
Can you wait to take this home and bring it to your family?
Yeah, I mean, it'll connect dots.
You think your family will feel good about it?
I think they'll feel. My sisters, are you kidding me? They're Pan-African this to begin with, so
Yeah.
they'll just.
Maybe as a family, you guys could go back there.
Yeah, go back to Bennington
It would be wonderful
or Tago.
to go back to your family's basic birthplace and be slaughtered by the people who live there now.
It's like I remember watching. I forgot which part it was. The Scorsese thing that he did for PBS on the blues.
Yeah.
And I think it opens with them, I think, going to Mali.
This
And
is
that,
very, very exciting. The blues connection for you
yeah.
is very, very exciting.
Yeah. And I remember watching that and I'm just like, I lost it. I was just like, this is the
You were
most,
crying.
It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And I didn't know why.
Yeah. Now you do know
Now
why.
I know why.
Your DNA was calling out. Your ancestors were calling to you,
I think the
saying, this
birthplace
is us. You're from the birthplace of the blues.
And the other areas that you see how they made the moves from Mali to.
Would you be willing to go there and visit Earl if we put it together?
I would love to take a road trip. Are you kidding me? I would love to go back.
It's over an ocean.
Hmm?
You say you want a road trip to Africa.
It is a road trip.
What's wrong with that, Earl? Chris?
He has to take a plane there first before he gets to
You can do a road trip by plane.
Now, by the way, I think on this site, now that they have your DNA, they'll send you matches. Like there's places to look for matches of people who are second cousins and stuff like that. There's a spot on here. I don't know where it is. Where it's like if you hit DNA matches. See if they've got any. So these are people here on the right.
Wow.
Oh, that's my niece.
What is it really?
Yeah, that's my niece.
The top
Oh my
one?
God. See,
So-
this says close family.
That's my.
Next one says first
my
cousin.
great aunt.
So wait, are we saying that people in your family you think have taken the DNA test?
Cousins, yeah.
So these are people that are related to him who have also
Yeah.
taken.
So
Mhm.
these are people that they are
They've already done the test.
barely sure. Now go up, go down one. This is great. That's a Stanley.
Oh my God. You're related to a Stanley.
We're cousins.
Oh my God. Third cousins. Oh my God. That's
This is
funny.
so exciting.
Yeah, I'm surprised my niece did it. I haven't talked to her in a long time, but
Why didn't she share all this information with you?
Yeah, really. Whole family should know.
Dude, that's awesome.
There are people.
And look at how accurate this is. Like you're like, oh, that's my niece, and in underneath it says possible range, close family, first cousins. You know, it's like knows that it's within in that exact
That's
range.
weird, right?
Yeah.
Earl, I would be willing to go back to Africa with you. And I'll take a lighter and a flashlight and be considered a god there. He has the sun in his hand. I think that's how they talk like Native Americans. He has
That's
sun in
where
hand.
probably your dad got confused. Similar accent.
You're thrilled though, huh, Earl?
yeah, this is.
Now, how
Wow.
do you feel about the possible 10% of rape, most likely? Not good?
I mean, that's. I mean, it was. It was. You know.
It was what it was.
Right. But then if you think of it as dark and horrible as it is, it's weird to think like you would not exist if not for whatever that situation was.
I have a theory that is true of every human person.
Oh, yeah.
That all of us are a product that we'd have to be very thankful about two things. Rape is why we were
Mhm.
here, and also cowardice. That there was some situation, some ancestor that ran away instead of going to the war,
100%.
ran away
Yep.
when the family's home was attacked. You know what I mean? Like,
Weird.
we have, this aggressive sexual predator thing and the fight or flight. We have both fight and flight in
But
us.
yeah, that's weird because you always hear like you are the product of the survivors, right? So you think
Right.
like, oh, I'm of the strong, like only the strongest survive. But some of that is like weakness and running,
Yes.
cunning, sneakiness,
Yes.
and like, yeah,
Probably turned in everybody else and
yeah,
took the reward and went down with
Weird.
it.
It could actually go the other way too. Who's to say let's say the black male was aggressive and
Yeah.
rapist with the Scottish.
Well, that person would be dead. Let's be honest about that. But yeah. So, or you could have had a black male rape a black female, a white. We all have it. Is
Yeah.
what I'm saying. It's in everyone. I hate to say that everyone's a little Italian, but there's no other way to explain that.
I don't think rape
Um,
needs to be part of being Italian.
I'm
No,
sorry, I
it
can't
is.
hear you over the tiny little pizza.
Very loud.
Matt in Maryland. Matt.
Hey, gang. Gail, welcome back. Really great to hear you.
Thank you so much. I'm
Hey.
happy to be back.
Oh. Earl, congratulations. This is really great. I just want to share a little bit with you about Mali. Timbuktu is in Mali, and that used to be the kind of the cultural capital of northern Africa. So you got a lot of the historical writings are kept by the families even to this day. A lot of great music comes from Timbuktu, and if you want to look up one artist, Amadou and Miriam are a blind couple from Mali that do music today that I think you'd enjoy.
No, I'm very familiar with them.
But here's the weird thing: is so you could have people. Your favorite band used to be Timbuktu in the 1980s. So you were you first of all, Timbuktu. It's a real place, not just something your grandmother yelled at you. All right, Kevin in Houston. I hope I'm saying that correctly.
What's up, buddies?
Hey, buddy.
Hey, black girl, man, you better watch out. Now they got your DNA. They're going to be fucking putting a case on you.
That's happening to a lot of people.
Yes, it has happened with a couple, two very like big high profile like serial killer and serial rapist cases.
I also found out that the people who put this together are very unhappy that the federal government is using it this way because they think it's going to have less people doing it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is weird because when people signed up, they did not realize they were giving that level of consent. And that's a huge level of consent. Like, I'd like to know my background and also give away a cousin of mine if he's ever done something wrong.
People are always saying to me, hey, why don't you do your DNA test? I go, I can't. I'm a serial killer. Earl, I'm going to send this to you so that you don't have to write it down. But it was very, very interesting to see Earl's face as this was happening.
I know, it made me quite misty.
Yeah. Well, until recently, right, African Americans didn't know anything about themselves because these were people that were snatched from their homeland.
Yeah. They have no history.
There was nothing documented either.
Yeah.
Like, my grandmother I think she lived until her 80s. I don't think she even had a birth certificate. Like
Your own grandmother never had a birth certificate.
A lot of those documents either didn't exist or were not created or...
Yeah. Well, the other thing that is always interested is most of our families have kept family secrets. Most of my people in my family are going to get zip, zilch. You know me. Ping, pow, boom. They're not going to tell you. It's personally, I always think if you want to find out anything about the family, the women know the secrets more than the men. The women keep the secrets, and a lot of the men are ignorant to the family secrets.
And strangely, they pass them on sometimes to the younger women. So they're like, nobody talks about this, but this thing. And you're like, whoa.
I have this belief too, is like the women are the glue to every family, and that's why they would do this. That's almost like a mark of womanhood. I can trust you with this secret. I would bring it up to you, Chris, but you have no living relatives.
Not one.
But I think most families would agree that it will be the women who go and say, no, I know you had a fight with him, but we're bringing him back into the fold. Or they're also have been less likely to move away. Like the women tend to stay closer.
They're often the caretaker of the parents.
Right.
So for that reason, they often stay.
Yes, and even before that, the grandparents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They'll be keeping an eye on that. And there also isn't a great mythology about, the mythology is the young man goes off to make his fortune. There's not the mythology of it's, hey, it's time for you to go up and make your mark in life, Maybe that'll be changing.
Yeah.
Now that we're in this new jazz age. You know what I mean? I guess that's what this is called.
It is.
The age of jazz. I'm very happy for you, Earl. I'm
No,
happy.
This is
I hope it's the
wow.
yeah.
Like,
Look, I've never seen you teared up before.
wow, this is like a lot of things connect now
Yeah,
in a weird cosmic kind of way, but they connect.
you feel very. I mean, the fact that you said "Am I Scotch" was very weird to me. Hey, is it disappointing that you're not Native American at all?
I mean, I love the culture. I love
Drop it, dude.
Yeah.
reading about it. I love everything about it.
Start
Now-
to study the Welsh.
Now St. Patty's Day parade.
St. Patty's Day for
See
you.
there.
Bastille Day.
Pick up another surprising one. Pick up some Tom Jones records. Ba-da-da-da-da.
Was he like the film? Was he like the
He's Welsh.
Welsh?
One of the real prides. Who was in here not too long ago that was Welsh? And it's the actor that was with Sarah Silverman a little while ago.
Oh,
Michael Sheen.
Yeah, Michael Sheen. And I forget what he was doing, some kind of weird thing. And I'm like, the topography in this, was just jagged. It was some kind of weird
a horror film.
right? That took place. And just the trailer alone, it looked like this horrible, cold, jagged rock place. And I go, oh man, that just, that's scary enough. He goes like this, that's my hometown. He goes, we shot this one scene that you're talking about. On the other side of that is the playground for the school. The Welsh, it's, I mean, you know what's really like, even when we think of England, the amount of fucking just wide open spaces in the north of England are shocking.
Yeah.
Shocking.
And there's such like big cultural difference. And I think that's, Americans don't always know just the difference between North and South and the class difference and like, yeah.
Well, when Roger Daltrey was here, by the way, he's taking your place for the next GPS.
That's so exciting.
Yeah, it was exciting. I'm going to try to get me replaced with Mick Jagger.
This is huge.
Yeah, it'll be great.
And hopefully get a little kickback our way.
Yeah, it'll be nice. 'Cause this thing's going to sell some subscriptions. See if there's what bands are from Northern England. By the way, you don't know this because Earl wasn't in the room when you were leaving. Earl's the worst Google person in the history of the world. The worst.
Well, this is exciting because this is really my first day working with Earl.
Is that right? You've known him for 18 years and you guys have never worked together?
No, yeah.
Wow.
I had already started my leave when he joined on.
It was hard to get Earl back in here. How long did we work on
know.
that, Earl? And at one point, I don't think I've ever even told you this, but at one point I was up at the National Comedy Museum and I was actually traveling there. And Earl calls me and he goes, hey, buddy, I want you to thank you for, trying to bring me back in the radio. I got a call and they said they were going in another direction. And I'm like, Earl, you're our only direction.
We picked you.
We don't have another person. He goes, that's okay. He was very kind about it. And I'm like, I'm furious about this. And I had to call all the bosses.
Yeah.
There was no other person.
No.
So I know one like that's northern. I think Soft Cell, I believe, is like in northern England.
Isn't it like Arctic Monkeys and all those
Yes.
guys?
Soft
Really,
Cell.
they're northern?
Soft Cell, Ed Sheeran is northern.
How far north? Well, I saw Ed Sheeran's fucking town. It looks cold as shit. It looked like one street, row houses, right on a vicious fucking ocean.
These are all bands from Yorkshire and northern eastern England. So
Does it say where Soft Cell is from?
Soft Cell is from Leeds. We're also
Live at Leeds.
Live at Leeds. Mel B of the Spice Girls, the Kaiser Chiefs are also there.
Let me take a look at where Leeds is on the map. John in South Carolina, you're on the Bennington show.
Hey, Benningtons. Welcome back, Gail.
Thanks so much.
As a lark,
that's
last
not that
year,
far north.
my family decided to do a DNA test, and it ended up that my brother wasn't related to any of us, not my mother, not my father. And we were like shocked, but like you had said, Ron, all the women in our family gone. There was no one to ask, where'd this kid, end up from.
So your mom was already gone when you did this?
Yes, my mom was gone. My dad was gone. All the aunts, even my older sister had passed on.
What has happened to in a lot of families is a lot of times the daughter has the baby, the mother raises it as her own.
Right.
Or there's a missing child that the family brings in and raises as their own and sees no reason to say this isn't the same as
Right.
they do that out of complete love, that we're all the same. This is your brother, this is your brother, this is your brother. And that's fine when you're a little kid, but you should kind of know, your history a little bit as you get older. And of course, plenty of guys have been told you are the father that aren't.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we were shocked because brain issues run in our family.
Yeah.
And that's why we actually started going for a lot of these tests. And he didn't have it, and we kind of kidded with him, hey, you dodged a bullet here, Yeah. And but it was just interesting. And we always said, we always knew that he was the oddball. We were all like 4 years apart in age, and he was. Him and I were only 14 months apart, Irish twins, and we were, we never thought anything of it. We came from a family of 6, it didn't matter. And
there was plenty of times, and I don't know if all kids felt like this, but I used to think I'm not like any of these people,
Well, so right away I'm thinking, okay, they took a kid in and they just didn't want to tell everyone. But what if it's a switched at birth on accident
that
mistake
also happened back
in the hospital?
in those days? Yeah. I mean, they were pretty lax about that kind of stuff for years.
Those mistakes happen more often.
We kind of thought that maybe too, but I mean, not giving out too much. But my dad was a doctor, and we kind of figured that it was a very close family friend. The daughter got herself in a situation.
Right.
The family said that we don't want to put this baby on a doorstep, or leave it at the church. Hey, you're a successful doctor. This was out of Brooklyn at the time.
Yeah.
And, they said, hey, and it must have been a very close family friend.
Dude, you've got to watch this documentary, and I had Gail watch it about this same kind of thing about children that were separated at birth. It's absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, it was amazing to show that how we are pre-programmed, we are wired. Who we are at birth is who we are, and it's pretty interesting.
All right, thank you very much. Now,
that's interesting.
Having said that, I would normally pick nurture over nature, and I don't know whether this is, but Gail reminded me so much of Gail the second that she was born. Like, I feel like she has the same kind of facial things that she does, the way that she acted just reminds me of the way you are now.
Well, yeah, I mean, I guess for me, it's to be seen, but she has a personality. It's so strong, and she has things about her that remind me, that don't remind me of me or my husband, that they're just her. Like, she was just born with a different spark than us.
That's why I always think it's odd the way a lot of people will see their kids as a reflection of themselves. I think it's almost impossible to do that, because why would they make the same decisions as another person? So when your kid does something wacky, you're like, you've let us all down, and now where does that come from?
Yeah,
why can't you just be like, look at this dope and the dopey decisions the dope made? That's the way I'm always surprised at Italians. It's so easy for them to kill a relative.
They love it.
If the Godfather tells them to, I guess they're just like marching ants. Glenn in New Jersey.
What's going on, Bennington?
Yeah.
So this is a little weird story, but I found out when I was 6, my mother told me, she sat me down on the bed and said, hey, you're adopted. And never really thought anything else about it, just went through life like that. Then in my 20s, my dad was diagnosed with lupus. So, then I started doing, I don't know, my mom was always weird about it, so I never really could ask her anything. So I just started doing some digging, and I found out that I was a diapers baby, and that my birth mother, left it open so I could contact her if I wanted to. Mm-hmm. So I ended up contacting her and it was more, I didn't want to reconnect or anything. I had a great family, so it was not like, oh, I'm so pissed. I said, all right, I just want to know if what medical stuff I had coming my way. You never know. So I said, all right, I contacted her. She told me a story where she's like, all right, well, I got pregnant from your birth father, but he has no idea you exist because he went off to war. I guess they hooked up and he went off to war. He ended up meeting somebody overseas and he ended up getting married to this woman. So she never told him. So I was like, I'm not going to go, mess with this guy. So I did a DNA test and just to that was just to see what my background was. And that was maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. So all of a sudden, I get a bing this couple weeks ago saying, hey, you have a match. So I was like, oh, that's cool. I go on to the site, I look, and it's like, hey, you have a close relative. It gives you categories, and it shows you the tree where you would be. So it's it shows that we share the same father. And I was like, this guy didn't really catch on at first. And then I ended up sending him a letter, on a note saying, hey, I really don't want anything. I'm not looking for anything, but because we're connected now, if you could tell me any medical history, and I kind of gave him the background of, the birth mother, man, this guy froze up. I haven't heard anything. He locked his account, can't even send him a message. And it's kind of crazy.
That is crazy.
That's a shame. I wish.
Well, no. And I told him, I said, look, I'm not looking for anything. You could look at my Facebook and Instagram. I have a nice family. I have kids. I'm not desperate looking for money or anything. I'm
you're coming off a little bit that way though.
What do you want exactly?
Yeah, exactly. And
I if somebody would have come to me and said, "Oh, I'm your brother," whatever, or some fucking guy showed up now and said, "Oh, you had a fucking one-nighter with my mom," I'd be like, "Oh my God, this is great." You know what I mean?
Why would
I'd be so happy.
Brothers don't shake hands. Brothers gotta hug.
Yeah, I mean, that's fun. You get through all the bad stuff, and you're just adults together.
Exactly. And a week later, his brother reactivated his account, and I guess they were just trying to see if he was connected too, and it showed the exact same thing. And I was reading their account, so they have it's 2 brothers and a sister. So I actually said to him, I go, listen, I have your dad's contact information, but I'm not going to send anything. I go, either you can break it to him or don't break it to him. But all I'm asking is if, for my kid's sake, to give me some medical background. And that's when he locked the account and everything. I was like, wow, it's crazy.
They don't want to split any money. This old man must have some bucks.
Yeah, it must
you know what I mean?
Hey, they're out in Hawaii. So I was like, hey, that'd be cool.
I'm sure he's been running the Golden Triangle over there for quite some time.
So it's just weird how some people are. And
everybody's a little Italian. That's what I like to say. They're just a little bit Italian,
Faction Talk 103. It's the Bennington Show.
Here's what you missed on the Covino and Rich Show.
Without the beard, if it wasn't popular, there'd be a clean-shaven goober.
You ever see pictures of Abe Lincoln without his beard?
Dude, without the beard.
7 years ago.
With the beard?
7 years ago.
Yeah. It only worked against him once because without the beard, terrible seats at the theater. With the beard, balcony.
Covino and Rich, weekdays at 11 a.m. East, 8 a.m. Pacific. Only on Faction Talk 103.
Live from Hollywood, it's the Jess Cagle Show with Julia Cunningham.
Together, we bring you the latest pop culture news and interviews with the biggest stars. Julia Roberts.
Look, it's like I have a hanger in my mouth. I can't stop smiling.
It's fun, right? Sharon Osbourne.
Yes.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm here. Can you believe it?
And many, many more. Every day, we have the biggest names in the latest showbiz news.
Coming to you from SiriusXM's West Coast studio.
On SiriusXM Stars 109.
Prescription products require an online physician consultation and are only available if the physician determines a prescription is appropriate. Subscription required. See website for full details and important safety information.
Hey guys, want to be a new man in the new year? New? Yeah, better health, better in bed, better all around.
Oh, I gotta pump more iron.
Nope.
Stop eating donuts?
Nope. All you've got to do is go to forhims.com. You'll find everything you need to be the new man you've always wanted to be, such as prescription medication to treat ED. Best yet, Hims makes it extra affordable. You pay as little as $30 for a month's supply.
Prescription?
Yeah, but you don't have to make an in-person doctor's appointment or have any awkward face-to-face conversations. Just connect with a doctor online at forhims.com. The doctor will evaluate you, and if appropriate, they can prescribe the medication you need and send it right to your door.
Huh. Who'd have thought being a new man could be so easy?
Yep, and this year, your first For Hims doctor's visit is free. Just go to forhims.com/choice. That's forhims.com/choice for your free consultation. forhims.com/choice.
To get fit in 2020, you don't have to join a gym or pay a ton for overpriced fitness equipment. The best way to get in the best shape of your life is with Echelon. Go to echelonfit.com to discover their EX1 connected fitness bikes that offer a high-quality, at-home cycling experience at less than half the price of a Peloton. Echelon makes beautifully engineered products for everyone. Busy moms and dads, first responders, and elite athletes, whatever your activity level. And with daily live and on-demand studio classes in your home, you'll never have to set foot in a gym. You'll love Echelon, but if you aren't 100% satisfied, we'll give you your money back. Join the hundreds of thousands of men and women who are getting fit with Echelon. Don't pay a ton for a Peloton. Buy an Echelon bike today for under $1,000. Go to echelonfit.com/XM to learn about their limited time free Apple iPad and complete details of this exclusive offer. Echelon, it's your time. That's echelonfit.com/XM. echelonfit.com/XM.
We know you have a busy schedule and don't have time to spend hours at the gym. That's why we created F45, a 45-minute group workout that's as effective as it is fun. Our sweat-dripping, heart-pumping, high-intensity workouts merge 3 leading-edge fitness training styles into a functional training experience unlike any other. This experience, accessible to all fitness levels, is built on innovation, motivation, and results that creates an environment in which goals are met and exceeded. Whether your goal is to lose weight, build muscle, create healthy habits, or meet fitness-minded friends, F45 has something for everyone. Once you take your first F45 class, you'll be hooked. The pulsing, upbeat team training atmosphere will make you feel welcome, and our thousands of exercise combinations will keep you guessing every day. So, are you ready to find your nearest studio and join our global fitness community? Dial pound 250 on your cell phone and say F45 membership. We'll send a location link directly to your phone. That's pound 250, keyword F45 membership. See you in the studio. Let's crush it.
Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show.
Now, SiriusXM lets you keep listening to Fox News Primetime outside the car. Take the 5, Brett Baer, Martha McCallum, Neil Cavuto, Tucker Carlson, Sean Hannity, Laura Ingraham, and Shannon Breen on the go with the SiriusXM app. Plus, hear special interviews and highlights. The Fox News Primetime lineup. Whenever you want, wherever you want. With the SiriusXM app. The SiriusXM app is now included free for most subscribers. Just download the app today and tap News.
Are you a business owner who needs working capital to help grow and support your business? Do you know where the money is going to come from? Have you been turned down from a local bank? If you need working capital and need it now, call Capitus. We provide up to $1 million in alternative financing to retailers, restaurants, hotels, and hundreds of different types of businesses. Unlike getting financing through a bank, our unique financing services are very flexible, with repayment plans customized to meet your needs. Our underwriting is extremely fast, allowing approval in as little as 1 day. It's totally stress-free. If you've been in business for at least a year, have an annual revenue of $150,000 or more with a minimum credit score of 550, pick up the phone and call now for a free no-obligation consultation to see what you qualify for. Dial 800-950-3788. 800-950-3788. That's 800-950-3788.
A crisp white fabric woven in Italy, hand-shanked mother-of-pearl buttons polished in Australia, a spread collar that stands up effortlessly around your neck, and a custom fit that perfectly flatters your body. Hi guys, my name's Seth Scarrett, and I'm the founder of Proper Cloth Custom Shirts. At Proper Cloth, we're perfectionists, and for the last 10 years, we've been perfecting the dress shirt. Every day we ask ourselves, how can we make things just a little bit better? It's this relentless pursuit that's led us to design some of the highest performing luxury fabrics in the world, to create an intuitive experience for customizing your shirts online, and to training one of the most knowledgeable customer support teams you'll ever encounter here in New York. It's this pursuit that's led us to create the leading men's custom shirt brand with over 50,000 five-star reviews. If you haven't had the pleasure of a custom shirt before, let me invite you to give Proper Cloth a try. Visit us at propercloth.com and use gift code RADIO to save $20 on your first custom shirt today. That's propercloth.com, gift code RADIO for $20 off your first custom shirt.
It's 2020, and you've got big plans for this year. Now all you need are the right software tools to make it happen. But how can you find the right software tools with the right features at the right price? Find your software match with softwareadvice.com. We guide you to your top software options in 15 minutes or less. How does it work? We connect you with a free software advisor who will talk to you about your business and recommend the best choices for you. Plus, find all the research and info you need to make a confident decision, including software pricing guides, buying guides, digital tools, tips, and more on softwareadvice.com. Software Advice is the fastest and easiest way to find software. And best of all, it's 100% free. We made the software search easy so you can spend more time on the more important stuff. Software Advice. Get real advice from real people. Visit softwareadvice.com to get your top software recommendations for free. That's softwareadvice.com. Softwareadvice.com.
Faction Talk 103, it's the Bennington Show.
All right, I'm going to do something because I was in this conversation at the cellar the other night. I know. I don't know if I can pull this off. I should have probably set it up, but I'm going to go to you, Earl. Hum the theme from Seinfeld. Vito, hum it. Someone said to me, that's such a great theme, and I'm going, hum it. And every person who hummed it differently.
Not any one of our four sounded the same.
And I honestly think it's the worst theme ever. I always felt like it was a distraction to the show. Give me the Friends theme any fucking day.
Absolutely.
We all know it.
It doesn't. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't fit the show. It doesn't seem like
nothing jazzy about those
something
guys.
that they would like.
All right, Chris, find theme from. I should have went to you, and we could have put it up here, but I just rethought of it again. But I'm going. You like the show so much that you think you like the theme, but I always found it to be nothing, no thing. All right, and in my opinion, I think one of you came the closest. Now, Vito, you do it. Gail?
I was like,
now, in my mind, Earl is closest.
Okay, I think it's Vito, and I think farthest is Chris.
What?
Well, it's always going to be farthest is Chris.
First of all, when he first did it, I thought he was humming, "Man, you know what really drives me crazy?"
I think he was. I think you nailed that. All right, now let's take a listen to it.
I made some.
No one was close.
I made some mistakes. All right, let's go for the top.
No one was close.
Go then. Go
Try to do it again.
Okay, I jumped in that part.
I feel like now that I hear it, Earl had tone, but not so-called melody, if that could even be called melody.
He had the baritone.
But you did not hit the notes, Earl.
Yeah, I didn't. I didn't listen to the theme long enough because it was just so unmemorable.
So you're now going in the other way. You now feel like it's not your fault.
No, I'm not saying it was
because you were confident.
I just very off the top of my head led into it and said, "Let me do a little."
So I don't even know who did that theme or who picked it. But my point was, it blows when you can't do the theme from the show.
I'm going to be honest. I think mine started to sound like Home Improvement.
Isn't that fucking funny, though? There's the most popular sitcom ever. And every other sitcom you could do, you know.
Yeah, I really fucked up that opening. I mean, I didn't even come close to that opening.
All right, now that you know what? Let's even just play it.
Okay.
And see if you can do it now that it's already played.
Like with everyone do it along with it?
No.
Okay.
Just play it, Chris. Go ahead, Chris. Vito?
You're doing
That's my interpretation of this fucking
You're doing an impression of Chris. Okay, ready?
Yeah. That might have been good. I don't know. I can't tell that.
Earl?
All right. We're back where we started. Earl's the best. Earl's the best.
Just because he has the baritone. That's all he has.
That's all they're doing. I bet if you said to this guy, play your fucking theme, he couldn't do it.
Wait, can I hear Chris's one more time?
Yeah. All right, now play, Chris.
It's starting to get crazy.
Now play.
Sound like Blue's Clues.
You can't even do it along with
Was that nightmarish or
Oh
what?
my god, it's...
I mean, here's the most people can sit and fucking tell you every line in every episode, but no one can do the song.
It's not good.
I don't know who that guy was, but I'd stop his check right now. And the way this was brought up to me, they were like, that show was so brilliant. The theme is so iconic to everyone. I go, no, it's not.
No, it
is
isn't.
not.
No.
It's
I mean,
impossible.
how many episodes have you seen of Seinfeld? All? And you still
right.
can't sing it?
A lot of times they'll even cut the theme out now.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're just back into the show.
You don't need it.
You only hear them during transitions. They'll also they'll cut
And
up.
those
pieces
are
of-
really annoying to me.
Yeah, those suck.
See if you can find a transition. Because it's so short and it just doesn't move the story enough. And Gail is correct. They're never out at a jazz club. There was the one jazz guy who fucking ruined his mouth giving a fucking face to Elaine, and even that story was ridiculous. Why? Why would he not be able to play the horn anymore?
Doesn't make sense.
All right, here are the transitions. This is
Okay.
a compilation.
You're doing a whole different thing behind them. You are helping them. You're accentuating, but you're not with it. You're a separate instrument.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question. What's wrong with the transaction? George!
George's parents' house is my stepdad's house.
Okay. This sounds like a fucking thing right from the show.
No, it's they didn't pay them or anything for it, but that is his actual house.
Why didn't they pay him?
They said, could we use it? His parents said sure, and then one day Jerry Stiller just randomly showed up and did a thing with ABC 7 News.
I've seen him go back to that house.
Yeah.
He was like, we never went inside of it.
Yeah, it was that exact thing.
So that was his family's home. His parents lived there.
Yeah.
So he's the Costanza.
Could we throw a party there?
Probably we could have a Seinfeld bonanza there.
Yeah, I mean, we have a bunch of fucking listeners when we go over there.
I love this.
We do our favorite Seinfeld trivia. Here's see if you guys can get this.
Okay.
Seinfeld had a crazy neighbor who lived across the hall. What was Gail?
Newman?
Well, Newman was more friends with his neighbor.
God damn it. If we go there, can we just bring a big pool table that can't really fit in one of
That
the...
would be just great. We'll recreate the whole episode from inside.
Can I store old computers in the garage? And don't you know that house doesn't have a garage?
It does.
Really?
Fun fact.
He knows everything about that.
Yeah.
He's a TV guy.
Yeah, he's a TV guy.
Chris Dan's a
But
house
he's
guy.
also, he basically grew up in his stepfather's house. He'd go there for every greasy Italian meal they would have.
Can we bring big bags full of clothes, moth-eaten clothes?
That may have been the toughest fucking thing that they've ever done to get from one place to the other. Because I don't know if that moth thing has happened since the 1930s. All those clothes were cool too. What would you call them? His cabana clothes?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Cabana wear.
Yeah. For his cruise. It just happened that he was going on a cruise. The number of things that took place in that fucking show. And you'd think there was 18 people who lived in New York. Not one of them black. Did that ever bother you, Earl? Like the Woody Allen, the Seinfeld, they don't have black characters.
Yeah.
Friends? No black characters on Friends,
I
too,
mean,
right?
the only was it
Later, just one.
Wasn't the lawyer on Seinfeld like a
Yes,
Johnny
but here's the
Cochran
thing: when
ish?
you have to go out of your way to find
Yeah.
that, where none of us can go to a dinner or a party or a restaurant or a bar that isn't all different cultures.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Not even the door guy was black when he's.
Oh, yeah, there's no giant door guys like they have at the Cellar. The Cellar, I'm going to wait. They put an ad out for a 450-pound black man who's 6'9". They have the most enormous door people I've ever seen in my life. The Stones don't have security. And all those guys need to say is, "You getting tight tonight? You cut to 10 minutes." No one says no. And we're like, great.
Perfect.
Good. I want to do less. Boom, 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 boom. Remember at a, and I won't mention his name, but at a certain, I'll just say comedy festival, a friend of ours found out that he was only doing 8 minutes, and he tore off his name tag and threw it at the girl.
Yeah. Yes, I remember.
It's one of my favorite fucking memories that I have.
It's pretty great. And very appropriate, I think.
And when everyone said to me, "What's wrong with your buddy?" And I go, "What?" And then they told me that, I just started fucking cracking up. I go, "If you don't see this as a great fucking story," because everybody was mad at him except for us.
I know. It is true.
And they also said that he had been drinking. Yes, it is nighttime. Bum, 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 bum. That was not. That was
That's like
not
the end
good.
of the actual song.
Play it. Play the thing again. We'll see. You show us where it is.
Yeah.
It's the Bennington Show on a Friday. And Unmasked with Jim Brewer. Coming up in about, I'll say half an hour, Chris?
About a half hour.
About a half an hour, according to Chris. I was just watching Earl play air drums, and sometimes he's an air keyboardist, but mainly he is an air bass player. A very rare thing.
Left-handed too. Do
Yeah.
the McCartney thing.
Why? Are you left-handed?
Yeah, I'm left-handed, but I play guitar right-handed.
What do you mean you play guitar?
Like if I play guitar, I play guitar.
I've known you all these years. I've never seen you play guitar. That's just like if you suddenly say to me, when I go skiing, this is what I do. I had no idea that you play guitar.
I could play. If you give me like major chords, I could play them.
Could you come in and play a song for us and sing it, or we would all sing along with it?
I can't sing and play at the same time.
Or play at the same time. You cannot play guitar.
I can play guitar.
Could you play a song that all of us could sing along to?
If you scream out chord changes, I can play.
Why would I scream out chord changes? You can't say that I play guitar and then ask someone else to scream out
I didn't
chord
say I
changes.
can play well.
You can't play at all.
I can play. I can hold up.
You cannot hold up. I just told you what we consider the bare minimum for a guitar player, strumming while everyone else sings Puff the Magic Dragon. It doesn't have to be Purple Haze or Running with the Devil. Okay. Something simple. But I can't be sitting here going, A, C, because I don't know, Earl. Because unlike you, like you, I don't play guitar, but I also don't falsely go around telling people I can play the guitar.
You can't be a duo with one guitar player.
What you've
know
described
I'm
as Guitar Hero. It's just sitting there and waiting to be told what to hit.
Would you like the red, yellow, Earl? Is that you cannot, under any circumstances, play guitar. That's not an awful thing, Earl.
I'm not saying it's awful. I could pick up the instrument.
You cannot. You cannot do anything with that guitar other than carry it out and put it next to the person's microphone and then walk back. That is as far as you can go, and that is not considered guitar playing. What you're explaining to us.
Maybe I'm not explaining it well.
No. You're explaining it perfectly. What I'm trying to tell you is you can't play guitar. Neither can Fido, neither can Chris, neither can I. None of us can play guitar. Not one of us in here. That's it. That's the end of it.
All right.
Thank you.
Fucking liar.
No, I'm not lying.
Why would you say fucking liar? We just were at the end of it, Chris. We had just, had an agreement, and then you yell, fuck, I'm liar. Now he's back, and I'm not lying. We were done. We were the negotiations were over. We had found a place that we agreed. And then he ran back in, and he made it personal. That's what he did. To reiterate, Earl, you don't play guitar. It's fine. You're silent. Your silence is really annoying. Your silence is annoying me right now.
I'm not annoying, but I'm not arguing.
So you can't play. Just say Earl Douglas, cannot and never have been able to play guitar, and then we can move along.
I mean, I've owned one.
What does that mean?
Yes, I've owned one.
I could buy an airplane right now, but I couldn't go out and fly it. By the way, I'm only talking Piper Cub. I looked into the cost of a Piper Cub, and I can indeed afford one. Will I buy it? No. Because unlike Earl, I don't need somebody to yell out the changes to me while I'm crashing my plane. There's a lot of things you do well, Earl. Playing a musical instrument is not one of them.
I never said I did.
You literally told us you could play guitar. You literally said that.
When I hold the guitar, I hold it with the right hand. I strum with the right hand.
What hand do you jerk off with, Earl?
Not gonna. No.
You jerk off with both hands, don't you? This is something I never knew about Earl. He's one of the 2% of the people out there that masturbate with both hands.
I didn't say that. I gave up nothing.
Oh, even to himself. He yells no while he's masturbating.
Yeah, so I've been debating between two things, and I want to get your guys' take on it. What would be a more valuable source of technology? Would you rather time travel, or would you rather just be able to go relive your own thoughts, like relive past memories? But you can't change anything in these past memories. You just get to go back and relive it.
So like perfect recall?
You can't time travel. We know that, or it would have happened.
Yeah, but
so time travel is impossible.
But this is a world where you're choosing one or the other. Like, we got both options.
Well, you can't. You can't do it. Because if you do it, you change everything.
So, but this is like, you could time travel, but like, you also can't alter shit, but you could go time travel to different places. That's kind of my point.
So like VR memory.
Would you rather be able to time travel to different places you've never been, or would you rather just be able to go within your own memories?
But even if it's where you haven't been, you will change everything.
Yeah.
You can't change his basic thing. It's the butterfly effect.
Just a witness. You're just being a witness, like a guardian angel.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I don't know why I said guardian angel, just a witness. Like an
Am
eagle's
I going
eye
to watch
her.
people shit and jerk off?
No, you're just getting.
So you just think I want my memory to be like it's happening real.
Yeah.
Now, would I know that? So I'm watching through my own eyes?
Yeah, you would be able to travel back and you'd be able to just be thinking.
Do I have to move my body in the same way?
No, it's kind of like just sitting
Autopilot?
there, autopilot, and you're watching everything, and you could be like, "Fuck, why'd I do that?"
No, I don't like that.
Or
That's
you could
scaring
even,
me.
if you lost something, you could go back and be like,
Am I
"Damn."
experiencing it?
Yeah, you're experiencing it.
See, here's the thing. I had sex at 14 with own age people.
Mhm.
Wouldn't that be pretty horrifying to go back now and do that?
Yeah, I don't think you should.
Hmm.
You're right. I
Like
never
what
really
Navita.
thought about that. Like, if you go back and see yourself lose your virginity, you're watching underage sex.
Yes.
I've thought about something similar to that before. Like if you're thinking back.
By
to
the way, you're watching underage bad sex.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, God.
That's not how you do that.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
if you think back to a crush you had in like 4th grade, is it weird that you're thinking about a 4th grader?
Oh, my
I don't
God.
think about them like in
You
a
went back-
sexual way.
Liz, I stayed in the teens.
No, but
you
like,
went to single digits.
you didn't have a crush in like 1st grade and you were like, oh man, I remember that crush I had in
I
1st
was
grade.
in love
and
in 1st grade.
When you go back and look at that, is it weird because you're thinking about some
Well, I'm
buddy
not
in 1st?
thinking about like I want to get with her. I think what
Yeah.
a strange young man I was.
Yeah, but it's just looking back, that freaks me out, that aspect. Like being like, oh, I remember that was the hot girl in 1st grade. And then I go back and I'm like, no, that's a 1st grader in my head.
You're struggling with something that I don't think I struggle
No, I
with.
don't either.
Like, I had plenty of boyfriend in a 2nd grade, but I'm not like thinking about his dick. I'm just
No, I
thinking
didn't say you're thinking about their dick. I just say like you at that time you were like, man, she's hot.
This is why we don't let
But I
you
still
fucking lead
I don't even
conversations.
think if I think back on it, I don't think of it like he was the hot dude. I just think like, oh, I crushed on him. Like I can't put myself in the headspace of where I was in 2nd grade when I was like, that guy is ugly and this kid's a hottie. Like I can't even think like that.
You're saying you never had a conversation in like 7th to 8th grade, like, oh, that's the hot dude of the class.
Yes, but now
yes,
she's
but
an
I'm
adult.
saying now I can't think of children like for the same reason. I don't see kids walking to school who are in 3rd grade. I'm like, look at the piece of ass over here. Like I'm saying, like I don't see whatever it was I was seeing then.
But I'm not saying looking at other people in the street. I'm just specifically saying in your own memories, like looking back and being like, oh, I remember this person was the hot person in my class. But is it weird to have that memory because that's...
It's weird that you're wrestling with it. That's what
Yeah,
we're telling you.
I mean, I guess that's
the
what I'm
fact
saying.
that you're wrestling with me is that you're having some bad thoughts.
No.
That you're not even sharing.
And that's the first thing you go to when you get this new technology.
Thank you, Chris.
Fucking weird.
That's real weird.
No, this wasn't what it just came up, and that's something I
Yeah, your technology doesn't even make sense.
My technology is just so it's just make a choice between do you want to go experience things you haven't seen before?
I'm
or
not
do you-
experiencing them. You got me as a ghost watcher.
So
I'm
you're
not fucking climbing trees and smoking cigarettes.
Am I in like a ghost body of my own memory, or am I ghost body looking at dinosaurs? That's
like
what you're asking
ghost
me.
body looking at dinosaurs versus just being in your own memory.
Or seeing the hot girl at the pool when
it
you're
doesn't
in
have
3rd
to
grade.
be the hot girl at the pool.
That's
That
fucking
was,
horrifying.
That was just
dude.
one example. One
No,
example of many.
It's a bad example.
He's just gonna go look at hot cave children, is what he wants to do.
Why is that even a thing?
And he wants to pee on them.
That would alter the past, though.
Yeah, but alter his future because it's the only thing he'd want to do for no one. Oh boy. The French fucking toucher said France, Germany, and the UK regret U.S. decision.
Are we well liked or no?
We're extremely well liked because we're the greatest country in the world.
Oh, okay.
We're the greatest country and the most powerful military in the history of the world.
Yeah, look at those Fox News girls. They are so pretty.
Yeah.
Those perfect ringlet hair that they do for them.
One of the greatest things about being in the United States is we leave the pulp in our orange juice. Not only that, we leave the pulp in our apple cider, some pulp in our milk. Milk pulp. It's available now. Yeah. No, nothing's weird. Let's just I feel like let's just fucking keep going and see how bad and weird it can all get. I don't give a fuck.
I feel like I'm on ghosty autopilot right now in present day.
If I don't,
I'm just seeing through my own eyes. I'm not really sure what any of this is anymore.
I've just given a lot of money to send space heaters to the solar caps. I just want to. I want to get the polar caps just fucking totally melted down. I don't care.
It's over.
I don't care. I don't care. You can suck my dick because I don't care. Well, Vito, you're. Let's see how well your great bit set up. Yeah, you want to talk about Vito's premise?
Dial tone.
I remember the potato things had this just a solid bank. What did I tell you, Chris?
You said that.
It's mad.
It was insanity.
Because, like,
yes.
yeah, Vito has an idea, and he tells me what it is. I go, that's just fucking stupid madness. And he goes like this. Well, let's give it a try. Got nothing else. He goes, I have a video of lava that's been on TV for 24 hours now. Would you like to take a look at that? In the meantime, one day we don't have the fucking phones on.
But, by the way, you brought up the potatoes again, and I had been making tally, but I didn't expect everyone to have this much difference of opinion.
Yeah. Nobody could agree.
No, and it's tied winner. Mashed bacon, French fries each with 2. Like everything else was like single crazy thing. Who knew that potato soup was the one that really?
That's some people are just madness. Eric, what's up?
So Vito's got. I will say this about Vito bringing up topics. He somehow has the talent to not make Chris look like the creepiest person in the room.
Well, the difference is Vito has actually hurt a child.
Oh, God.
He's done that down at his other job at the Piers. He threw a little baby girl off the pier.
I didn't. Don't say that.
Baby girl.
Like, affect me.
Did anyone see my baby girl? Oh, that big ape of a man had it.
Stop.
Was swinging around by his ankle.
You need that income.
You need that cum as well.
No.
Yeah, you do.
No, stop.
What's wrong with that one cum?
Stop. Like, yeah, come to my job.
I told you that was coming today.
It hit him right in the throat. There was a warning.
Where does giant rubber band even come from?
There's a whole pack of them over there.
There was a
Remember I
warning.
told you 2 hours ago?
Now I remember.
2 hours ago, Ron threatened Chris and said at some point during this show, you're going to get a rubber band.
Now,
and he forgot. And
Chris
he relaxed.
also didn't know that you could shoot rubber bands. He goes, how do you shoot them?
No, never.
Didn't you go to school when you were a child?
Yeah, I went to school, yeah.
And nobody was shooting rubber bands back and forth?
There was balled up paper being thrown about, but no
balled up paper.
Balled up paper.
What is a balled up paper?
Balled up paper.
Oh my God.
Being thrown about.
This is all the skill you could do is just bowl it up a
destroy
paper?
it. Throw paper.
Yeah, I know how to throw things.
That's why. Check it out. Is it balled it up?
Bowled up.
You're in your own fucking world, ain't you, bro? Hey, Eric in Pittsburgh.
Ronnie,
Yeah.
I've never been to a Wawa myself.
Oh, it's heaven.
It's heaven?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of thought you'd say that. But anyways, there's a guy making a documentary it's like battling out between the two stores.
Well, I don't. What two stores? The two Wawas?
No, between Wawa and over here on the west side of the state, we have Sheetz.
Well, here's the thing. You don't make a documentary about something that's happening right now. You have no sense of perspective.
This is unfolding as
I
we
guess
speak.
he's making a movie.
Even though we have no perspective of this whatsoever. Does Sheetz make a sandwich?
Yes.
What is their sandwich?
They call it an MTO. It's made to order.
Right,
But
so
you go in there and you can get a hoagie. You get it however you want.
Well, hoagie really comes down to a couple things, but Let's take a
yeah.
picture of some of these things, Chris. Or else you're gonna get another rubber band. in there.
Please don't.
Dude, you hit that right in his throat. I was very impressed. And you did it very quickly.
That's made to order. Is this nothing? Looks like a sandwich you'd make at home. The only thing I would order at Sheets is a ladder and a rope. Yeah, I'm not gonna
You
watch
wouldn't
this.
get you wouldn't get the loaded tots, or however Chris says it in Spanish.
Yeah, that was another one of his lies.
No, that was
Like
Potatoes
you
fries.
bowl it up. It's paper. No
Bowl
one
it
boiled
up.
up paper and threw
It's
it. Nobody.
puro.
There's so many other things to do.
All you have is paper in school.
I mean, you
He
didn't even say
spitballs.
anything. Yeah, spitball. Like
No,
when you
not
hollow.
spitballs.
You didn't do spitballs?
Not that I can remember.
You didn't like hollow
you
out
know
a
why?
pen and then like.
Guess what? He was a fucking nerd who went to the science school.
Oh, you were like a science geek.
I went to Brooklyn Technical High School.
What was your science of choice?
If I had earth science, I think that's always the easiest.
But I mean, like, did you have to apply to get in because you were good at science?
No, it's just there was a citywide test you'd take when you were in middle school, and then whoever fucking got high enough got led into the 4 big high schools, the science high schools.
So
But what
you
were you supposed to
tested
do with
high
that?
on science, is what you're saying.
No, it was like a general knowledge fucking test.
But you had a high science
You
test.
went to the science thing. There's all kinds of schools that you have.
Yeah,
Why would they send you to the science school?
Because I don't know. They sent me to Brooklyn. They said you're going to Brooklyn Technical High School.
I know, but why, Chris? You would have had to done well in some kind of a technical thing.
I guess math I did well in. I can't remember.
Math? I don't think you're good at math.
I'm not good at math.
You know what you're good at? Cursing. We noticed you said fuck all the time, so welcome to
You're
Brooklyn fucking technical school. Oh, something about this fucking story just stinks from the top.
I
I'm
agree.
not
There's
believing
something
it.
that he either it's not true or he's really good at something that he won't just say he was
I
good
know.
at.
Why not fucking brag?
And
Hey,
that's what I'm
guys,
thinking what it is.
You know, I was a chess nerd. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
chemistry.
Yeah.
Something.
Or you were a great reader. Something that made you come into that. You could do research. But for whatever reason, he's trying to Fonzie it up like, hey, I don't know what those assholes
Yeah,
wanted.
me, I just been rocking and rolling and whatnot. What's the matter with me, baby? What's the matter with you?
Looks like I'm looking to buy a new motor scooty if I don't steal one with a 5-finger discount. Just be a person and tell us why you did good.
I think I did well in math and reading. That was the fucking test.
Howie Mandel was able to walk in here and said, I don't even have a GED.
Yeah.
You know why he doesn't? He's a fucking ADD guy.
Really? Yeah.
I mean, he had all those OCDs and
Yeah.
ADD before anybody had them.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, what's he talking about? And now, like every third person.
Everybody's like, I have.
And now
OCDs.
Chris is acting like, yeah, man, when he came to school, I just want my motorcycle boots.
The boots specifically. Teach tried to get me to take off my motorcycle boots.
Like, fucking weird.
Why is he trying to play that so cool?
I know. And then his girlfriend was like, yeah, man, we went down in the barrio, man.
Me, I never did good in escuela.
Jeez. Make sure you bring your zip gun tomorrow, man. Why can't you just fucking say that you're proud that you're really good in school?
Were you just really good in school?
I wasn't really
Were you
good
an
at
A
school.
student?
I was definitely
Teacher's
not.
pet.
I wanna be teacher's pet.
And blow the teacher and lick his ass. Let him chiz on my desk.
He agreed and started singing
I know,
with the
'cause
Lincoln
he got
ass.
fucked by his teacher. Male teacher.
So you fucked your way into Brooklyn Tech, is what you're saying.
What was your degree in your high school? What did you major?
Computer science.
Okay, why wouldn't you say that? I'm a computer science guy. You know what I mean? You're fucking the young Bill Gates.
What kind of stuff were you working on?
He's working on a whole new internet. How's that fucking sound, right? Pied Piper was fucking turning this whole thing around. So what did you do? What was your
Yeah.
computer?
They,
Programming?
They taught us computer programming.
Yeah,
yes.
great, man. So you can do code?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Can you really
still
do
do
it?
No, I can't. I can't code anymore.
Did you try to code?
I went in high school. Yeah,
Dude, that's fucking nice fat cash for you.
Yeah.
Right?
I could have been.
Why
you
didn't
know?
he just say all of this?
Well, because his mom fell down and he got a big fucking settlement. Now he's up to France and Spain.
Don't forget Spain.
Throwing fucking cash everywhere. 4 days he's fucking becoming a matador.
Can you code a MySpace layout?
Well, you know what? Why are we pulling teeth? Why wouldn't he say to us, well, guys, I got a computer science thing I used to code when I was in school. And then we'd go, oh. Instead, he's like, I don't know what I was good at. None of us fucking coded in school.
Smoking weed. That's for sure.
Picking on minorities. Kids. Picking on kids with medical problems.
Chris, we know you're cool.
Yeah, you don't have to fucking prove. You don't have to prove shit, dude.
Thank you.
All right?
Thank you.
I mean, you could be doing fucking drive-ins and dives tomorrow. You know,
For
you're that
sure.
fucking cool.
Thank you.
But why? Look at me. Vito's just fucking losing it. But why wouldn't you just say what you did in school?
Because it was, I thought we were talking about middle school, not high school. That's
What?
See, that's where I was at.
They said Brooklyn Technical.
You told us Brooklyn Technical.
Yeah, but I got into fucking Brooklyn Technical by being in middle school.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Oh, Vito, shut up.
This all started asking you why you got into high school, and you said in middle school you took an exam. That happened.
Yeah.
I got to high school by way of middle school. Yeah, all of us, dude.
My career started in kindergarten. Paste. Chris, why don't you just admit that you were the dumbest kid in Brooklyn Tech?
Oh, easily.
You fucking fell behind first day. All right, we gotta wrap this up. I'd love to sit and listen to this fucking jibber jabber. My favorite thing all day was saw the doctor 3 weeks ago. I know you didn't. Showstopper, stopping the show, making the show don't go on. He's a showstopper, balling on paper, wads and wads of bowls of paper bowls. Lady! The bowl with the paper is there.
We'll be right back. This is Faction Talk 103, The Bennington Show.
This is what happened on the last Jim Norton and Sam Roberts show.
I have 2 children.
What?
Isn't
When
that
did this
crazy?
happen? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How old are they?
3 and 6 months. Almost 3 and 6 months.
So I'm assuming you're still with Jess.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yes.
I wasn't-
She bore my children.
Right.
Yes, yes.
And you do it to the audience.
Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. Live weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern. Faction Talk, Sirius XM 103.
It's Super Bowl trivia on Mad Dog Unleashed.
All this week at 3 Eastern, Christopher Mad Dog Russo is giving away 4 trips to the Super Bowl on Mad Dog Sports Radio. Answer 4 questions correctly, you're going to the game.
O.B. McKaylee?
Yes, it
Get one wrong and feel the wrath of the marquee.
is! No, it's not Jerry Kramer.
It's Super Bowl trivia on Mad Dog Sports Radio Channel 82. For official rules and eligibility, go to SiriusXM.com/Mad Dog. No purchase necessary. The NFL entities have not offered or sponsored this in any way.
Are you a business owner who needs working capital to help grow and support your business? Do you know where the money is going to come from? Have you been turned down from a local bank? If you need working capital and need it now, call Capitus. We provide up to $1 million in alternative financing to retailers, restaurants, restaurants, hotels, and hundreds of different types of businesses. Unlike getting financing through a bank, our unique financing services are very flexible, with repayment plans customized to meet your needs. Our underwriting is extremely fast, allowing approval in as little as 1 day. It's totally stress-free. If you've been in business for at least a year, have an annual revenue of $150,000 or more with a minimum credit score of 550, pick up the phone and call now for a free, no-obligation consultation to see what you qualify for. Dial 800-950-3788. 800-950-3788. That's 800-950-3788. Julia owed the IRS thousands.
I was paralyzed with fear. When I saw that number, I did not know what to do.
Then, like a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow,
I heard a commercial for Optima Tax Relief.
Optima Tax Relief is the #1 tax resolution firm, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau and experts in the Fresh Start Initiative. They've resolved over $500 million for their clients. Julia immediately knew she called the right people.
I felt safe. I felt like the weight of the world was off my shoulder.
So how did things turn out?
The team at Optima Tax Relief settled my IRS tax bill. It was amazing.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
It was fabulous. I was so happy. I owe it all to Optima Tax Relief.
Call 800-901-3022. 800-901-3022. 800-901-3022.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
These statements have not been reviewed by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Hello, everyone. For all of you who suffer from calcium oxalate stones, here is some free advice. Tip 1, drink plenty of water. It takes a lot of water to dilute and pass the substances that lead to stones. Tip 2, modify your diet. You'll need to limit sodium, cut your meat.
Tired of difficult lifestyle changes that often don't work? If you suffer from calcium oxalate stones, now there's help. Kidney Cop. Now 15% off when you go to getkidneycop.com. Add Kidney Cop to your routine as a way to potentially reduce or even stop the formation of calcium oxalate stones. Kidney Cop is a dietary supplement developed by doctors and pharmacists. It's been proven in laboratory tests to reduce the rate of calcium oxalate crystal growth by 99%. That's right, 99%. Just take Kidney Cop. Satisfaction guaranteed or your money back. And now you can get 15% off your order plus free shipping. Just go to getkidneycop.com. That's getkidneycop.com to get 15% off your order. GetKidneyCop.com.
We'll be right back. This is Faction Talk 103, The Bennington Show.
It's me, Alicia Keys. Show me love.
She's already won 15 Grammys. And before she hosts this year's award show, she's coming to Sirius XM.
Hear me take control of heart and soul, playing some of my favorite R&B from today. I want you right. And everything that inspired it.
Alicia Keys takes over Heart and Soul all Grammy weekend, starting Friday, 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 Pacific, Channel 48.
Hello, beautiful. I'm Amy Errett, founder of Madison Reed, a hair color company I named after my daughter. We've heard from thousands of women about hair color, and the #1 concern is finding the right shade. With Madison Reed, we guarantee you'll find the right shade. You can choose from 3 different ways to get color matched. Call, chat, or text a licensed colorist who will help you select your color. They're available 7 days a week. Or take our online color quiz that asks you the same questions a colorist would. You can even try on different shades of hair color with our virtual try-on tool at madison-reed.com. With our 100% money-back guarantee, you can shop with total confidence and experience gorgeous, shiny, multi-dimensional, healthy-looking hair color. Visit madison-reed.com to find your perfect shade and get 10% off plus free shipping on your first color kit. Use code FUTURE. That's code FUTURE. Try it. Love it. That's the beauty of Madison Reed.
Hey, it's Peter Tilden. It's chilly outside. Cold and flu season is upon us, so you need to be prepared like I am. You want to take a probiotic to help strengthen your immune system, but don't just take any probiotic. Take Natron's Healthy Trinity. the only probiotic I recommend. How does Healthy Trinity help keep the bad bacteria in check? Well, here's the answer for you from Natasha Trena, the mother of probiotics.
50 years of expertise allow the gut-friendly super strains of good probiotic bacteria in Natron's Healthy Trinity make it harder for bad bacteria to gain a foothold in your body. So they just want to leave. If you've overindulged during the holidays, let Natron's Healthy Trinity help you survive, naturally cleanse, and feel great again. Don't be fooled by multiple strain probiotic supplements that are overprocessed and abused in warehousing and shipping. They will not get you the results you want.
Natasha, I couldn't agree more. To feel the Natron difference for yourself, go to natron.com or the probiotic cooler section of Whole Foods, Sprouts, or your favorite health food store. natren.com for Natron's Healthy Trinity. Feel the Natron difference. Others promise, but Natron delivers.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Guys, we've come a long way from wearing suits all day, but there's still room for improvement. Let's face it, jeans are better, but you could be even more comfortable. Hi, I'm Brian Berger, founder of Mack Weldon. 7 years ago, I set out to reinvent men's basics. We started by upgrading your underwear and socks, and were the first to use real silver woven into the fabric to keep you cool and fresh all day. Our loyal customers quickly asked for more, so we developed our best-selling Ace sweatpant and sold close to 100,000 pairs during the holidays last year. That's because our Ace sweatpant is engineered to be functional and comfortable. You'll want to wear them everywhere, and they look so good you can actually pull it off. Try Mack Weldon risk-free. If you don't love it, it's on us.
Get 20% off your first order at MackWeldon.com with promo code XM, but only until the end of the month. That's 20% off at MackWeldon.com, promo code XM. MackWeldon.com, promo code XM.
Bennington is back, and this is Faction Talk 103, The Bennington Show.
Reggie Watts in studio with us.
Thank you, guys.
And we just had one of those weird kind of rock and roll moments where, as Reggie was coming in, Tom Jones was here, and the two of them got together, and you were talking to Reggie about, Reggie was bringing up to Tom Jones about Janis Joplin, and there was a certain point where we were all standing there, I'm like, yeah, the acid kicked in. It was like one of those weird things. But that was a very cool experience, and he was digging you in a big way.
Oh, man. Yeah. it's just incredible to meet someone like that, because it's just, they're such a part of the consciousness, of life.
And the weird thing for, like in your background is your music as well as your comedy goes everywhere.
Yeah, it's, the hope that it's, if people like it, they carry it, carry it on, pass it on type of a thing.
But even in the kind of influences that you have in the music that you do, and it seems like, and maybe I'm wrong here, but the comedic influences come from all kinds of crazy places as well.
Yeah, definitely. Growing up, I loved weird European kind of cheesy, strange comedy, and to Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy, Victor Borge, Charo, Gene Wilder was a huge one, Gilbert Radner, Carol Burnett. I really like taking comedy from all, British humor, massive
right.
influence.
And even talking with you, I was never sure which was your voice. And the other person that reminded me of was Peter Sellers, where you were not just so much doing voices, but becoming different people throughout the day.
Yeah. I enjoy, it's just weird. So it doesn't matter, like someone could say a word and suddenly it triggers, a kind of an interpretation or a character I'd like to become. It's almost like I need to do it in a strange way. And some people think that I'm making fun of them,
right?
But I'm not. I'm not at all. Like, so if that happens to all of you guys, because we'll be hanging out probably later. But like, if that happens, I'm not making fun of you. You've just inspired an idea. That's all.
I still think that it's an insult. No way you can get it.
Oh, this is a great interview. Really, thank you.
Well,
I love Sirius Radio.
We were actually talking before about trying to make sure that you guys never laughed once to see if we could get to that point. Because one of the things that's really different about your style of comedy is that a lot of comedians will build upon whatever they start at the beginning. But I notice with your act that if you're getting a laugh in one way, you'll completely go in another direction with the next bit to kind of make sure that the show doesn't build. You're keeping everybody on their toes.
I guess in a weird way, this sounds kind of cheesy, but yesterday I was thinking about it, that it's kind of like wrestling in a way. It's like you're either like, in wrestling or any form of grappling, whatever, like, if someone's resisting, sometimes you just go with them, and then that changes into something else, and then you create resistance again. It's like when I'm doing my shows, I really like that feeling of like one of my favorite things that I like to do is if I do a performance, like a song of some sort, and people are clapping for that at the end of the song, and then I'm immediately pretending like they're laughing at the punchline of a joke that I just said. So it's really like confusing. So it's just like yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about, right? I love that, and people are like, yeah, so you shouldn't go fishing, and it's just the weirdest. Like they're like, what? No, that's not what we were clapping of. But I really like that. I like the destabilized.
It is, and it's the exact opposite of winning the audience over. I'm not as sure exactly what it is, but it's like, please stay involved here. You're not going to, you don't get a chance to start looking around and have a drink when you're watching. But you'll even go like from a very visual bit, where you're almost not talking at all, into a stream of consciousness. And
yeah, I always like the idea of, when I was a kid, I think this is kind of where it came from, but when I was a kid, I used to, I had this winter coat that had, those little waist tie things that had like little pieces of wood and elastic, and somehow that was supposed to be, you like twist them, like and it's like, that's the belt, but it didn't really do anything. Well, they would dangle there, and I would stand on the playground and wouldn't move. And then a friend would come up and they would pull the little wooden thing, and then I would change channels. Essentially, I would turn on and I would be doing one thing, and then they pull it again. I'd be like, "That's not very nice." And I was like, "How come you're always coming over?" That's what I did. I was hired. No, but that's kind of the same thing. Like when I think of it as like channel surfing or just sudden reality shiftings. I like the idea of you're having a conversation and suddenly you blink your eyes. You're in this room, and then you blink your eyes and suddenly you're in a dining room. Like I like that feeling of sudden transportive ideas that I don't know. That's fascinating to me. If you can get enough energy, it's almost like this is my last analogy, I swear. Sorry, last analogy. No, but it's also it's also similar to like I don't know, to cucumbers. No, no, it's not. I guess the thing is, what I'm trying to say, and this really matters, is that I look at it as like it's an opportunity. It's like magic, like illusion. It's like, oh, look over here, and all of a sudden, dove. Like I like that idea of creating an illusion, essentially, and the illusion is unstable. So when people think it's stabilized, it's not what it is, and because I enjoy that. It's not necessarily me trying to purposefully be confusing in a way that like gets me off, like in kind of a negative way. It's I enjoy that,
right?
And so therefore, I think the audience would like that too, because the entertainment I like to be disoriented when.
Well, the weird thing is, like, if you go back far enough, like with vaudeville, there would be like magic and dance and visual and music and all, and then comedy, but you're doing all this stuff by yourself. It's almost like it's a variety show with one person in it, and no MC whatsoever. So you're not.
That's beautiful. I like that.
He doesn't spend any time going, all right, here's the next bit. You just go to it immediately.
Yeah.
But I was thinking about you as a kid, saying that you would do all these things, and today they would put you on some kind of drug. It would be like that's the exact thing that they worry about in a kid.
Yeah, you know, that's weird. That's actually a huge point, because they would never think of doing that. You know, they would think of having you maybe see a counselor if it was something that was like, you know, if you were hurting other people, or if you were like so incredibly distracted in the classroom. But I had the ability to focus, but I was always kind of a clown, and I was waiting for the opportunity to tell a joke in the classroom, you know, which is a lot, you know, a little bit different thing. Going, it's like, hey, try this, blah, 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 and you're like, no, you really don't understand me, do you? Please go down the hall. But I liked being liked by my teachers, and some teachers rubbed me the wrong way, and so I would end up being kind of confrontational, and I would go to, you know, in school suspension a lot for that. But teachers that I really respected, I liked having, you know, meaningful conversations with. And I think that's an important thing. That is weird. I mean, think about like how many kids probably have an ability that is misdiagnosed. So they end up going on these drugs, and it ends up changing their brain chemistry.
Yeah.
And, you know, maybe you might survive through that, but maybe not.
But really, what else are you besides your brain chemistry?
Yes.
I mean, that is your personality, and they just go, okay, we're going to change that.
Yeah.
Almost like you're another person. But in the same way of people that are breaking through, and I think what you're doing with comedy and music and stuff is a breakthrough, because we can't even quite explain it yet. That's one of the cool things about it. So in the same way that, let's say, an agent would have told you 10 years ago, no, what you're trying to do doesn't work. You know, you need to follow this path or follow that path, not go off on your own. But maybe there's other kids that we're keeping from doing that by these drugs.
Yeah.
And not even people, not just talking about comedy, but maybe physics. Who knows?
Yeah, I mean, you know, the thing is, like, the thing that we have to remember is that not everybody learns the same way.
Right.
You know, it's like, that's just, I mean, we kind of know that, but we still kind of go, well, here's the template, you know.
Right.
Retain information. If you can retain it and say it back, then you're a smart person. It's like, that's just kind of an OCD person. That's someone who has the ability to kind of keep things and file them properly.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's a great skill, but some people are very random, and they see they reflect off the world in a chaotic way, and that's an important aspect of of human mind.
You know, if I look back on my education, every question I ever answered probably now could have been taken care of with seconds with just Google and Wikipedia. I mean, why are you memorizing anything when you're carrying your phone around with you?
Well, you know, one of my favorite things, Einstein, I'm paraphrasing, but Einstein basically, like, he was asked a question, he's like, why don't you what did he say? Yeah, he says basically, why don't you like to retain information? You seem to not have the ability to retain information. It's like, why would I hold on to all of those facts and figures? That's what books are for.
Right.
And I like that idea. He basically kept his brain open and clear to create ideas, to think about things. And then if he needed information, he would refer to books, or now we have the internet. And I think that kind of makes sense, without obviously being like having no retention at all. But I like the idea of keeping your mind open to formulate ideas and to dream. You know, I like that.
Well, when you're doing that on stage and you're improvising, is there part of you watching the audience? Are you saying, are they coming along with me on this, or do I have to do more? Or do you just kind of leave it up to them whether or not they can follow you?
I think audience perception-wise, I'm kind of putting myself in the audience in a way. And I'm like, is this funny?
Right.
Like while I'm doing things, I'll be like, if I'm having a good time, and it's not like I'm like actively like going into the audience in an imaginary way and sitting there and going, oh, that's pretty good. Maybe, you know, maybe you ought to go over to the left a little bit more and address that side. They seem to, you know, but it's more like a feeling, you know, like a feeling like I feel connected to the audience, knowing that, oh, okay, what's happening is marginally interesting, so keep doing that, and maybe it'll get more than marginal.
Which means there has to be, you know, the one person who's improvising, and then the other person who's judging.
True.
You're almost in two separate places.
Well, that's a great way of looking at it. That's the way I think that everybody does that on some level or another. You know, I think that for me, I describe it as buffer memory. We don't really have that so much anymore because now it's all digital, but back in the day when we had portable CD players and they would skip, they had 40 seconds buffer memory so that it already knew the song 40 seconds. So if it got bumped and the laser went off track, it would just refer to the memory that was already stored until the laser refound the track again, and then keep playing. And so I think of improv in that way because I'm on stage and I'm essentially creating a buffer.
Right.
And if I'm feeling really good, I have a huge buffer. I can actually have time to formulate a feeling that I'd like to come next whilst I'm performing in real time. So essentially, I'm a few milliseconds ahead of what you're receiving on stage. So, but in a way, thought is kind of like that too. In a conversation, you're already thinking about. You're like, oh yeah, really? And the next idea is queued up, and you're like, oh, that's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah. Did you ever know? It's that same thing. We all do it. It sounds like, whoa, that's amazing. How do you do? But we all do it.
But I think the real thing about that becomes trust, that you are going to trust as you go out there. The buffer will be working on the next thing, and the buffer saying, well, why I'm doing this, he's going to be able to drag this along too. And what the one voice that could ruin that is the holy fuck, what am I doing? None of this is going to come together. I'll just shit myself voice.
I had that last night. Last night at Whiplash at UCB Theater, it was Jim Gaffigan. It was at Louis C.K. Well, just those two enough. But it was essentially a lineup of heavyweights, and I was watching them going, wow, this is an amazing show. It was a free show, totally packed. No one paid anything. They're just sitting down, and they didn't even necessarily know they were getting this monster lineup. I mean, of incredibly recognizable, people have been around a long time. And so when I got up on stage, I was like a little bit stoned. But I didn't know how stoned I was until I got on stage. And usually I have to set up my gear, which ends up becoming part of the thing. But sometimes I get tired of that. Like, I'm like, why don't I just show up early and set it up and know it works? But anyways, that didn't happen. But so I'm setting it up, and I'm like trying to do a bit with setting up and trying to say things on the microphone, and it was just like sparse emptiness. People just going, what are we doing here? The show's over. I mean, we should just go. I don't know why. Is he rehearsing? We should go. He's rehearsing right now. We should definitely go. But then it slowly, like, I got back on track. It was nice. But those feelings are really scary because I'm reminded that it's a good thing because it's not a foolproof thing.
Right.
It doesn't matter, like, if you're the best audience in the world and I'm feeling really good, sometimes you get on stage and you're not connecting.
Right.
And it just happens.
And that is, they get back to the thing of that's people's biggest fear of why people don't speak in public. But I don't think they really know how performers share that same exact fear, and it feels just as bad.
Yeah.
And you could be doing this for a long time, shit the bed, and still go home and go, I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh, yeah. Especially in comedy. Because if you've been doing it a long time and it happens, you're like, maybe I don't have it.
Right.
Maybe I lost it. I don't got it. Like there's that. So it doesn't matter if you're like just beginning, in the middle, on the rise, or you've been on a long time. You'll always have that fear, and that fear is a kind of a form of energy. Like that's what I rely on. Like the danger of failing is kind of the energy I run off of.
Well, and I think the great phrase is maybe I've lost it, because you don't exactly 100% know what it is. Whatever that creative force that brings you stuff that kill, you kind of have a feeling I'll get to this place, but you're still kind of depending on something that is tough to explain or even take credit for.
Yeah, I think that last thing is the point, because I always describe to people, I say, well, it's not, I never claim to 100% own an idea. that I'm doing on stage. Like, I think that's, for me, it doesn't feel right. And for me, it's like this, and it's not like, I'll give it up to Jesus and God and all that. Like, people do that. That's fine. Yeah. That's one of its names. No, right. but it's not it, but necessarily. But like, for me, I think of it as like, I'm an antenna to a certain degree. And the cleaner I keep my antenna, which is just keeping that mind space clear and open and being playful throughout the day and just kind of like, staying in that, ideas are just floating out there. And then I notice stuff throughout the day, and I can't stop but see things and go, oh, isn't that cool, the way that line goes into this and the shape of it? Oh, that's really cool. Or did you see the way that policeman stepped out of the way when that guy, things like that are happening all through the day. So that's kind of floating around. And then there's the audience, and then there's the club and the lights and all that stuff. And I just kind of start receiving stuff and putting out things that I've noticed before, but then going into things that are kind of random. And what ends up happening is this kind of a feedback loop, or I call it a feedback spiral in a way. It's like you're acquiring information from the audience and from everything else, but I'm shaping it and trying stuff out.
Sure.
Like surfing, not to be, trite, but like surfing is very much like that. It's like, no one claims to like, I'm the best surfer in the world. It's like, no, every surfer knows that they're kind of on the line, and when a big wave hits and they've caught the wave, first of all, they were listening, and they knew they felt when the swell was happening, and then they get out there and they're paddling, and then they catch the wave, and then when they're in that process of negotiating the massive force of nature, they kind of get into this zen spot, and then they pull out of it or they wreck, but like that's kind of the same thing for me as a performer. I think all performers are essentially that.
And you and I had never met before today, but I've used both those metaphors before. We're trying to explain to people. And I always think the antenna thing, which is amazing to me, is I do kind of think to people, it depends on you what kind of antenna you want to have. Do you want to have one for music or comedy or architecture, whatever it happens to be. That part of it, I've always believed that you can work on. Yes. But whatever that creative force is, you're going to be there.
That's it.
And surfing is a great metaphor. Sometimes you paddle out there, there's no wave at all. You could be a fantastic surfer, you could be in Hawaii, and suddenly some kid in Jersey is catching way better waves than you.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You got nothing to do with that part of it.
That's right, yeah. Awesome.
It is, and by the way, this will be a really great show for stoners because
man, waves are like, you know how it's physics, it's waves and particles, what I mean? It's like the board is a particle, but the wave is like, I guess, a wave. No, I don't know.
That's perfect. That payoff came in. Then a wave would be a wave.
I guess it would be a wave. Let's just say it's a wave. You want to say that?
Watching some of your comedy too, which some of it reminds me of Carlin, the way he would do wordplay and all. But what I love about some of the pieces I've seen you do, instead of just laughing at words, it's almost communication itself that you're holding the mirror up to. The fact that we go through any of these things that we do and use words. And in your last DVD, where you kind of took down, I'd say, about 40 years of observational comedy with the men's and women's bit.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which guys all over the country are doing some variation of that bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's like, people, I guess, call it anti-comedy. I've heard it called that before. And sometimes you'll see a comedian as a segue just go, aren't guys weird and blah, blah, blah. But I like to go further with it. I like to really embody it. But like the whole thing is like, aren't men different? And then of course I just choose something that's the most mundane thing that any human being would do anywhere. And then like, how women sit in chairs and think about things. It's like they're crazy. Women are so crazy. I love that because it's like that's been done before.
Right.
Like I mean, it's different. I mean, some comedians are talking about their life experience or something that happened. Like, that's fine. It's honest, and it's funny. If funny's funny. If people are laughing, they're laughing. But like, it sucks when you're like with comedians and you go to like a club and you're like, what is that guy doing? Doesn't he know, or what's she doing? Doesn't she know that like that's a thing? And and I'm not saying that everyone has to like try things on, and and mimicry and things of that nature are part of the learning process. But there's also something in comedy, I guess the most important sacred thing is the point of view. Mm-hmm. They talk about point of view a lot, and that's essentially seeing the world in a way that's unique to yourself or honest to yourself. And I think that I never want to discourage somebody, but there's definitely, when someone gets on stage, that they have something, mm-hmm. even if it's like hacky, they have a couple micro bits of something that's really brilliant, and that person's going to evolve. You feel it, but and that I love that. Someone could be talking about the most plainest, hackiest kind of stuff, but I know that they're going to be great,
just because there's one single original thought in there. I will that is always, I think, the thrill to see, something that you're thinking, that's never come up before, particularly in a piece like that you were doing, to go back to the men and women bit, is to make you now see it in a totally different way before you did. Like, and it almost, as I was watching you do that bit, I'm going like, who gives a shit that men and women are different? What could be more obvious that men and women have different qualities?
It's like there are people, men are watching it, like, and women are just like, really? We thought we all humanoids. Like, me no. Different parts, yes. You have long hair. You look pretty.
This changes everything.
Breaking news. Men are different than women. Even more than structurally. What?
But maybe it gets back to, as many times as you talk about it, people will wake up the following day and forget completely and just go back to where they were before.
That's right. I know. Yeah. I mean, my favorite thing about comedy is that I really believe good comedians are philosophers, mm-hmm. and that feels a fairly obvious statement, but like, George Carlin, especially, when I would watch him, I was like, that's philosophy in action. It's like, humor is one of the best ways to enlighten, in a way, for both sides. It's like, not like the comedian holds all the power, but it's like they're making these observations in a way that causes people to realize, oh wow, but really realize more than someone just kind of factually displaying information. Did you know that cholesterol can be good in some circumstances? So it's like, cholesterol is like, it's like when people, like, what up with cholesterol coming in? But people respond.
This guy's informative. He really.
What? No way. No, that's funny. That'll stick. Because it brings me humor.
Stick.
Yeah. That'll stick. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, I think that humor has a way of getting right to a joyful place.
Yeah.
I think that joy is that's the best form of intellect.
I've never heard it described that before, but that's really it really seems dead on. And it actually takes me back to that point where you're saying you're bringing in some kind of energy from the audience as well. And like, it's maybe that crowd you would do a different show for than a crowd of completely different people. Like, I mean, just the fact that so many comics go out and do the same material night after night, they miss that moment that you get to have.
Yeah, I mean, my favorite comedians always riff with the audience.
Uh-huh.
Oftentimes, like, one of my favorite young comedians that I think will make quite a mark, his name's Rory Scovel. He will riff for, let's say he has a 45-minute set, he'll riff sometimes 20, 25, even 30 minutes before getting to his material.
And then just end with material. Or sometimes just like say a few things in the middle and then riff again until riff out, Like taking the opportunity, even Daniel Kitson, who was one of the guys last night, brilliant British comedian, he has this list of things to do. And oftentimes he says a joke and then someone will cough and then he'll divert from the joke, like, as an aside for about
5 minutes, and then he goes, "Oh right, here's the rest of the joke." Okay, completes the joke, and then like, "You sir, where are you from?" And then he does like crowd work, and then that leads for another 20 minutes, and then he goes back, "Oh yes, and here's this joke." And I love that. I mean, because that way each performance is tailored to that moment. I think that that's a sign of someone who cares about their audience. I think that that's an important thing. It's like there's people out there,
and not only cares, but there becomes a trust factor too. Especially when an act moves the way your act does, you have to trust that these people can follow without people, explaining to them as they go along.
Yeah, I mean that's I never like to spell things out. I try to put an idea out there that's obvious enough to me, even if it seems strange, that people should get it. And it's weird, even if it's a complex idea, as long as you almost are visualizing it in your mind as a clear thing to you, people almost receive that. It's the weirdest thing. Like you'll think of something like I was doing this really dumb joke last night that I tried for the first time, but I was like doing, a play on the word Beyonce, and I was just going like, Beyonce, I don't know, 2 hours, you might feel a little weird. Beyonce, I don't know, 3 days from now, you might, whatever. And I kept doing that. And people were like, why are you doing that? You get it, guys? You get it? But in that case, they overgot it. But that's an example of like something it's a real stretch. But people are, you don't have to explain it, to go like, well, you see what I'm doing, there's no need for that.
But there also, at a certain point, that almost reminds me of hypnotism when you get to that point where it's almost like a trance state. If everybody's on that ride together, that boom, you can get it to them.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like, we all get to a great place. We're like, oh, okay, great.
Yeah.
Now here's a subtle move. Oh, they're there. Okay, let's go really big. Okay, now they're right there too. Okay, great. Now let's pull out some really interesting stuff finally. I don't know.
A lot of the stuff that you do is with the technology that you have. What exactly are you working with right now? What kind of...
I'm running a 360 dual overhead cam.
Okay, nice. We'll race them for pink later.
Yeah. What's your rig? Right now I'm using my Line 6 DL4 that I always use, which is like a delay pedal. It has like echo effects, but it also has a looper mode on it. And then I also use the Electro Harmonix 2880, which is a 4-track looper, which is great because it's 4 tracks, but it's stereo, so I can pan each track either left or right, so I can create a mix. So if I do drums and bass and whatever, I can kind of pan things out to give it a little bit of space and depth. And then I can also have conversations left and right. I usually do like a character in the right side and a character in the left side having a conversation. So those are the things I run now. And now I'm also using an Electro Harmonix Holy Grail, which is like a little micro delay or a micro reverb pedal, and the reverb enables me to do, I don't know, it's put myself in different environments, which is nice.
All this you learned to do music, you were doing it for more or less serious music.
Yes.
And at some point you decided, I'll move this over.
Move over music, here comes comedy. It's like, okay, I'll still be here. You're my new friend. No, yeah, I mean, I don't know.
Just the fact that everything has a personality with it. Everything is alive. Even thoughts have their own personality.
I mean, and that's the thing, because I grew up just kind of being clowny, and I loved comedy and watching TV and movies and imitating things. And really, mimicry was like a big part of my life, and still is. Mimicking sounds, machine sounds or people's voices or characters and things like that, accents. Or physicalities, and learning music. Music was most of my life, and then in high school I got into competitive drama, and did competitive drama, and but improvised because I can't retain lines at all. If you give me a script, I'm like, okay, all right, okay, yeah, okay. Here's the script. Let's film it. can I see the script one more time? I can't. I get so nervous. So so I improvised a lot of stuff, and then when I went to Seattle, I kind of did music. I did some sketch comedy, a little bit, really bad sketch comedy, and then towards the end of it, I was like,
Jesse Jackson just waved to us. It was a very. I was making that up. Now look, Jesse Jackson is doing comedy for us.
Jesse Jackson. That is really weird.
Yeah.
Hey guys, Jesse Jackson just flapped his wings like an eagle. And then flew away in a brown suit.
Now, we're all familiar with Jesse Jackson. We know he doesn't just start clowning and flapping his wings.
No. Yeah, doing the bird.
Well, yeah.
Oh-wee.
Why the hell did that just happen?
I don't know.
How?
I don't know. It's almost like, yeah, that's normal. So anyways, what we were talking about, like, wait.
What was beautiful is you were being serious at the moment.
Yeah.
And here comes Jesse Jackson. Nothing matters. Look at this. I'm going to fuck with the speaker.
I know, totally. It's sort of like, consciousness is the real... Jesse, come on.
Stop it, Jesse.
Okay, get out of here already.
Yeah. Wow, that was crazy.
That was really weird. Okay, that's good.
That was like Martin Luther King's best friend just came and fucked with us while we were doing an interview.
I know, totally. It's like you should have done like a little magic, like those little glass spheres that people like roll around on their hands and make it like he's just like, hey guys, check this out. Oh, look at this, a pigeon.
I kind of had the vibe that he was a little jealous, like I'm the guy that gets looked at. Not Reggie, it's me.
It's like, I just want to remind you who's in charge. Okay, I'm out of here. Have fun trying to have a show.
Yeah, right. Follow smoke, you bastards. You brought something with us that you said you could play with a little bit.
Yeah, I can try to.
Yeah. Well, that's always gives me a lot of confidence.
Yeah.
Because I've got Jackson in the wings if needed, if you can't pull this off.
Woo! Yeah, I think this will work. Let's see. Yeah, check 5. Yeah, it's working. Okay. All right, let's see what happens.
No, this is just your iPhone that you...
This is my iPhone. I usually... I forgot to bring my actual stuff, so this is my virtual stuff. Yeah, no problem. I was like, I won't need it. It's just radio. It's just sound. But it's also visual. Okay, here we go. Check. 1, 2. Let's see if this works. If it doesn't, don't sacrifice me to Beelzebub. All right, here we go. Ish, ish, okay.
Cima quelli suonano questo, non mi prende questo, ma come lo po. Canta papum, voronda da questo, che te non fa pronto. E la son toto, e la tugnora ne fanno shotare, uguaran de sunna, uguaran I don't like your pancakes anymore. I don't like your pancakes anymore. I don't like your pancakes anymore. I don't like your pancakes anymore.
Yo, pancakes. Yeah, where my syrups at? Yo, where my flavored syrups? Yo, I hope it's good tonight, cause I hope that there might be something that's scary in the food that enables me to complain about it and get my meal for free. You know what I'm saying? Yo, can you feel me?
Whoa. Wow, does my phone suck? I can't do anything like that.
I've got the Y phone. No, just kidding.
Got the wrong phone.
Wrong phone.
So that is all improvised for you because you just rather go out and play with it like that every time you go out on stage, or
yeah, because I think it's more fun. It's entertaining to me to discover something new. You know, that way I can kind of be a part of the show.
But has there been any point where you're like, wait, that's the one that works, I need to go back and work on that, like you would have done with a song when you were in the band?
Yeah, there are things that I think, the way I look at it is like, if something keeps coming back, then that's the thing, you know? It's like love, you know what I'm saying? Like you make love with somebody and then you let them go, and it's because it's too greasy and they slip off the cliff. No, it's like sometimes a certain theme will come back, and then if that starts to happen, then I just keep building on it, and then it becomes something. That's what Fuck Shit Stack was about. Like that's what it became something over time, and I just kept holding on to it, and then it just kept building and building. So that's how I look at it. So I kind of like giving it up, because a lot of my shows aren't recorded, and some people will be like, that song was, I love that song so much, and I'm like, well, I don't remember it, and they're like, can you do that song? I'm like, I don't know what you're talking about. And I kind of like that, an impermanence to it.
That's why Jerry Garcia started letting people tape many, many years ago. Just say, go ahead, you guys get it down. He actually put it on the audience.
Yeah.
You tape it, because I can't always get there.
That's right.
But the interesting thing is, like, Fuck Shit Stack, with that, so many people got introduced to that from as just like a musical thing. Like, to a lot of people, hey, this is just another song to download. And I brought up, you were here to a younger kid, and he go, oh, track 8. I have him as track 8 on this mixtape, right? So he just thinks to himself, oh yeah, I've already taken what you've done, right, and put it into this whole other vibe that he wants to do.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, but for him, it's just pure music. It has nothing to do with the rest of your comedy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
He's putting you in the same place that he would put any other musician. But for you, that song came out, exploded, got really, really big. And a little while later, Conan asked you to join that tour, which there's very few tours, I think, that get that kind of attention. The media attention was intense on that.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I think of it as that. There'll never be a tour like that ever again. I don't think.
Right.
Like, and there never was a tour like that before. Like that style of touring, when you have when a comedian, or a comedic performer like Conan decides to put on a tour, that's kind of interesting. People are like, what's that going to be like? What's he going to do? That's interesting. But then ends up playing a lot of music in it.
Yeah.
And then gets an opening act like myself, but then tours like he's Fleetwood Mac. You know what I mean? Like tour buses and jetting to he's on the A team, so he jets ahead, and it's like, well, I mean, all we get is this really nice tour bus. No, but everybody was treated so well,
right?
Like so well, the nicest everything. Like he really treated everybody well, and they toured like a badass rock band would.
And of course, Conan would have probably have never done that tour if everything didn't happen. He would probably rather not done that tour. But the fact that it did come together, all of a sudden these great guest stars coming from every different way. Every show that you would read about, some crazy guest star would show up.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, essentially you know, you can read the names and you can go, wow, that's incredible that, you know, so-and-so is on there and so forth. But it really being around him, it's just as friends. It's like if you had a show and like you just were inviting your friends over, you're like, oh, these are my friends.
Yeah.
You know? So they're on the show because they're my friends and I like them. And that's what he did. And that's the feeling you got, you know, like there'd be all these crazy people hanging around and like, wow. But he's just like, hey, what's up?
Do me a favor, ask him if Tom Jones and Jesse Jackson was there. Because I fucking roll too, all right, Reggie? Get that through your head. I'll bring on the weirdness.
Yeah, the answer is no. He came nowhere near that. Nowhere near that.
Just Conan, ladies and gentlemen, Jesse Jackson flapping his wings, just running through. But I thought it was so interesting, and just to show you where that Conan is a little different, that he asked you to come out. And had you met him before the tour or anything? Or?
Well, I met him, like I grazed by him at Radio City Music Hall maybe 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I was doing the voice of Sarah Silverman's ass.
I did not know that was you, but I remember that.
That was me. However, the same ass sings as well, but I didn't do the singing part.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Smigel did it, I think. Yeah, he did. He did the singing, so he was like, you sing, or I'll sing, and you do the voice. And I'm like, okay. I was like, that's cool. Yeah, I'm down. That's so strange. But yeah, okay, that's fine. But I was glad I did it, you know. But I got grazed by him then. I was like, wow, he's a very tall guy. And then when the tour came about, it literally was like, hey, did you hear Conan and Brian's going to go on a tour? I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Wonder what that's going to be like. And then like 4 or 5 days later, my manager calls Olivia. She's like, yeah, so Conan called and they are interested in having you perhaps. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. And then the next day, they definitely want you on the tour. And I'm like, what? And I'm like, Louis, should I do it? I was working with Louis at the time, Louis C.K. And I was like, Louis, should I do it? And he's like, I don't know, man. I mean, if you have an Australian tour booked, I mean, you know, you should maybe think about doing that because, you know, that's your bread and butter. And I was like, that's true. That's a good point. And then I talked to everybody else. They're just like, are you crazy? Do that tour, man. I'm like, okay, all right. But it was so fast. But it was Todd Levin, who was one of his writers, who. When Conan, they were thinking about who do you want for an opener, he's like, oh, I'd love someone musical but comedic but different from what I do. And Todd was like, yeah, what about Reggie? And then Andre Duboucher, who's another one of his writers, also recommended me. And then Bart Coleman also was involved in that, or sorry, JP Buck. And so JP was like, yeah, man, you know, he would be a good guy. And then so that's how I found out about it. So it took me about a week to figure out how it even went down, but it was friends of friends.
And then after all these years of, you know, you kind of doing your solo thing, there you are in these big buses traveling around with this big crew. Kind of feels like the Almost Famous kid suddenly now is, you know, part of this bigger than him thing.
Yeah, it's funny that you mentioned Almost Famous because when we were on the bus, I downloaded Tiny Dancer. And I was like, guys, we gotta do this. We gotta do this. And then I just like cranked that song, and I was like, no, you guys act like you're sad and stuff, and hang around the bus, and ballerina, and gotta see her grabbing down the bird, David goes and Danny, you know, and everyone starts singing it together, and I was like, yes, you know, we're going down the road. Anyways, no, but
poof, you are home.
Yeah, I know. It's like, here you are, man. It's all happening. It's like, yeah, it is, literally.
So having that experience with suddenly these big, giant places and media focus everywhere, when that tour ended, that had to be, again, to come off a tour like that, had to be another shot of, like, culture shock.
Well, it was like, it's weird because, you know, I've done tours before, not on that level, but I used to sing with a band called Soul Live, and for like a year and a half, and they toured on a tour bus, so it was kind of, I mean, I kind of knew what that was. And then, you know, and then we opened for the Rolling Stones a couple times, and that was crazy, but I didn't have the consistency of 2 months of touring.
Right.
And so, you know, what ended up happening is that I got got close to the production, the tour production and the road crew, the everybody in Conan's camp, just good people, and we were having such a good time together. And towards the end, Conan, he threw a dinner for us, like kind of like a last dinner type of thing, and and he said this really touching thing, as he is oft to do. And I was like, this guy is amazing. And then when I did Fuck Shit Stack for the very last time, the crew had painted on boxes "Fuck Shit" and Stack on different boxes, on a bunch of them, and they hid it from me for the last 3 shows. I didn't see it. So when I was doing that song, all of a sudden the crew started coming out and stacking cardboard boxes that said "fuck" and "shit" and "stack" on them, and dancing around to the song. And I was like, this is the best thing ever. I mean, like, they were the coolest crew. I mean, they set up my gear. They didn't have to set up my gear up. They started putting the video feed of me on the side display screens, which they didn't have to do. A lot of stuff happened. It was great. What a great connection, to have with those people. But it was kind of sad, but at the same time I had a feeling I might see them again, like in some way.
Fired from TBS, and
yes.
Whole gang gets back together.
Yeah, it's like, we're taking another tour, guys.
Somehow piss those people off.
Yeah, somehow
you never know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
When you go back to your musical career, like you said, opening for the Stones, which would be, for most people, a gigantic career highlight, no matter where else they went to it. Yeah. But you were close enough a couple of times that you might have never ended up with your comedy career, right? I mean, there were points where it felt like serious musician.
Yeah, it was weird. Essentially what happened is, in the 90s I had this band Mock Tube, and I'd played in millions of other bands, and I lived in Seattle in the 90s, and a big fan of Soundgarden and Alice in Chains. Pearl Jam not so much, and but God bless him, I love him, and Eddie Vedder was really sweet to me backstage, and he's awesome. I do appreciate what they've done, but like just rock, raw rock force, I just think Soundgarden is just one of the filthiest rock bands ever. But anyways, being there, and I played in tons and tons of bands, and then I got into this band Mock Tube, and it was kind of this weird hybrid of strange kinds of music, and trip hop and rock and roll and soul, and no one knew how to classify us. Like, they never knew, because our interests were so varied, and we just kind of didn't really focus on making one kind of music. And we got kind of successful in the Northwest, but then the whole music industry did that crazy collapse thing, and how industry happens like that. And then the offers started dwindling, and I don't know, it was just, I didn't see how I was going to make a career out of it.
If you weren't at a certain point when the whole record industry went down, the Stones can continue to tour, but if you didn't get over at that point, the chances to get through are nil.
Minimal. Minimal. And then I thought about like what I was doing in high school, where I was just kind of like screwing around and having a good time and entertaining people in all the ways that I like to entertain people, and that's when I was like, wow, it may be cool to get back in comedy. And then whenever I'd come out to rehearse or to write music with Soul Live, I'd be in New York for like a month, and I got hooked up with Eugene Merman, and him and Bobby Tisdale had a night called Invite Them Up in the East Village. Amazing comedy nights, kind of a seminal place. I started doing comedy there, and people were like, "Hey, man, welcome to the family," essentially. And I was like, "Oh, this is great. I'm going to move here." And then my best friend was like, "Place just opened up my apartment," and I was like, "I'll take the room." And I took the room, and it just like all fell into place. It was great.
But to go back to your musical career, one of the things that you said was rough was not being able to be figured out and classified.
Yeah.
And your stand-up, you're not being able to be classified either. No one can say, "Oh, Reggie's just like." You can start and say, "Well, take Robin Williams, a little bit of Cheech and Chong, Peter." I don't know where that.
Right.
At the end of it, when you try to tell people what you do, you end up just getting frustrated and say, "Check them out." I don't know what to do. I'm pissed off that I got lost here.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, essentially the very same things that made it impossible to to do anything in music, ended up being exactly right for what I do now. I mean, it's just great. It's great for me. I was just stoked to I don't have to change what I do. I just get to do what I do, and people like it, and that's a huge, honor in a way.
Well, what about to take it from here? I mean, I'm sure because visually you've done really hysterical stuff with your videos, that really, to go back when you're talking, this is just sound, but the sound and vision coming together. TV, movie, anything that you want to do in that area?
I definitely, I just did a pilot for Comedy Central, and we'll see. It's called the Reggie Watts Show, and we'll see what happens. They'll test it, maybe they'll air it or whatever. But I would love for that show to happen because it would just be nice to have a place, to engineer ideas and to put them out into a larger, audience. That's kind of like the internet, but not old school internet. But TV, old school internet. Just couldn't talk back to it. But I would love that opportunity. I also am I love movies. I love movies, and I have so many dumb ideas for movies and short films and stuff like that. And I just kind of want to get to a place where I have enough income coming in that I can try my ideas without having to please make my idea, or please, pretty, please,
There's other ways to negotiate, Reggie.
Look, I got a bow on. Don't I look pretty? Don't I?
That's not good. That's not good. That's not going to work for you.
Sorry, kid.
Keep giving up that power.
I know. God, casting couch. But I just want to get to a place where at least people trust me enough,
right?
To allow me to do an idea, because I think that people should be cautious, like networks and so forth should be cautious, because it's kind of shaky and they have to be careful. But at the same time, I just want to get past that caution with them so that they can trust that I'm not doing ideas to the ideas that I come up with aren't to alienate audiences. They have that kind of an effect, but I love my audiences, and I love people, and I whatever I'm doing, and I think inside of my head, I think that inside of myself I'm going, God, people are going to love this. That's why I do stuff. I'm like, people are going to love this. Boy, wait till they get a load of this, huh? Who would have thought bologna could be used this way? But it's like, wow, chocolate and bologna.
No, I do believe that about you. You don't set out to have the audience walk out and be upset, which a lot of comics have done.
Yeah.
Where you're like, this is going to be great. Make sure you watch me. I'm going to empty the room in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And take that as it's an art form, but it's easy to shock and alienate, but to shock and bring people in is the real miracle that takes place. To make them change like that. That's the cool thing.
Yeah, because I think so. I like that. That's what I look for and stuff. That's why I love. I like The State, Michael Showalter and Michael Ian Black and David Wayne. I think those guys are such geniuses at being really kind of and kind of mean in a way, but you just love them. I do. I watched that and I'm like, this, Wet Hot American Summer blew my mind, and it was one of those things it's not for everybody, and it became a cult classic, but it is for everybody, and that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to present interesting ideas to a large group of people, so that maybe it'll bring joy, but also maybe it might start a conversation. Who knows?
Well, you were bringing up about you were doing the music for Louis C.K.'s TV show. That show probably wouldn't have been made 5-10 years ago. He's breaking a lot of rules with that. And was that your thing? That just
Nah, it's fine. It's just a phone made of glass. It's fine.
Well, why don't you check on it?
No, it's fine.
Would hate for you to lose your act.
No, it's fine. No, it's cool. Yeah, it's fine.
Why don't we pick it back up again just to prove that you can do this more than once.
Look.
Just going to show it to everyone. This is a phone.
Yeah, guys.
Ain't you never seen a phone before, huh? Ain't it nice? It's all shiny. It's got metal and stuff. And it's made out of compressed sand. Here we go. Okay, let's try this. Hello. Hi, how are you? Okay. Okay, got it. Here we go. I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. I said that. I don't know. What?
Everybody's coming around for the thing that we want to do, 'cause we're humans and we like to do stuff together. But sometimes humans like to be alone. They like to be alone and stare at a phone and think about if they should call someone to accompany them for the evening. Oh yeah. I like several things inside the world, and I don't like to hold back from experimenting with things I'm very passionate about. So hopefully you'll never have a doubt. What it is now? Ding ding belong to. Ding dong. Hello.
Well, Reggie, I want to thank all of you for coming in here today. It was a real pleasure, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Reggie Watts.